Well, you know what, guys? We're back for another tier list. TNG Season 3. The season everyone claims is when TNG starts to get good.
Right while the iron is red hot. We're coming in with Season 3.
But you know what? I don't agree. I don't think I agree. I feel like it was starting to get good in Season 2 already.
Well, I meant like striking while the iron is hot is a joke because we haven't had to talk about Season 3 in years.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It's been literal years since we've covered Season 3.
We've had to catch up, you know, like the very first episode, I literally forgot what that episode was. I was like
just like with Season 2 earlier this year, I had to go through each episode bit by bit just to remind myself okay, what happened? And whilst doing that, it reminded me of other stuff that also happened. So
right.
Yeah, there's stuff.
I actually like Season 3. Like I remembered more of Season 2 than Season 3, I should say. That's the thing.
That's interesting to me as well. Because I had seen, I think technically I have seen Season 3, or at least a portion of Season 3, just as much as I had seen episodes of Season 2.
Yeah.
In my viewing, I had independently gone up to mid-Season 3 before we started this podcast, and I started over.
Right.
So, for some reason, Season 2 was easier to sort through in my head. Season 3 had a lot more wait, that happened? While I was going through
there's a lot
synopses.
of what is this one about? I don't even remember.
It's that happened, huh? I remember this part, but that part I don't.
Well, part of it is that some of the titles don't really match with or it's not descriptive enough. I kind of forget what it was even about based on the title name. I'm like, which one is that? I don't remember that one.
There are a lot of separatists in this season. There are a lot of breakout groups of people that came out from a civilization and were trying to re-enter or reintegrate or being chased after or hunted down or lots of that happening.
Right. Well, before we get started, we don't have a sponsor for this episode because instead we're going to tell you about our merch store because at the time of recording, this is right before Black Friday.
We're sponsoring ourselves.
We're sponsored by ourselves. And you know what?
This episode of Newbie Star Trek is brought to you by Newbie Star Trek.
Oh my God. That's a thing that no other content creator has ever said in terms of a joke.
Never.
But you know what? I don't know if people remember. They probably do. There was one episode where we showed off a really, really cool fan art that one of our fans drew, Skella Rang. And they drew this really awesome piece of fan art that I thought was so cool. I had to just purchase it from them. And now you can either get it on a t-shirt or you can get it as a print. And we have we have 4 different sizes of prints. I forgot the exact sizes, but they're standard movie poster sizings. And then, you could check that out at fugitiveframes.store. We also have a bunch of other new products there, one of which is our long-requested stickers. So we have Sticker Series 1, which includes all of our t-shirt designs that we did before, and our most popular t-shirt design, the This Machine Kills Fascists Bathlet t-shirt. We put it on a trucker hat, and that was a purely selfish one because I've been wearing a lot of hats lately. You know, when you're in the South, sun beats down hard, so it's you kind of want to put on a hat. And,
you do need one of those.
Yeah, so that's you can check that again. Head on over to fugitiveframes.store. At the time of recording, and it should last throughout the end of the year, depending on if it ends up not losing us money. But if you're, I'm gauging it to make sure this doesn't lose us too much money, if at all. But if you make an order that's over $69, you get free shipping. So that's cool. So yeah, let's otherwise get into it.
Get it while the offer's good.
Yeah, because I think I'm gonna just do it until the end of the year. Free shipping over $69. So yeah. But in terms of TNG Season 3, it starts off with Evolution. Which is immediately, I was like, I forgot what this one was, and I looked it up.
Yeah, when you look it up, you are reminded at least that it's one of those "God damn it, Wesley" episodes.
Yes, because it is entirely his fault.
Yeah, like it's his nanites. It's his little experiment that gets set loose in the Enterprise, and that's what makes really wacky things happen.
Yeah, not only that, it's like he literally creates new life. And it's kind of like glossed over. It's kind of like, oh, you created...
It's like, and it's almost like new life was an inevitability almost, because he says like, I was trying to keep them from evolving too much.
Yeah, it was almost like whatever setup he did, no matter what he did to try to slow it down, it was
like
going
they were going to evolve or something. That's like the vibe that I don't know, it seemed like.
Which is really weird. It's a really weird start to the season, especially since he seems like so... I don't know what it is, but I was glancing at a few clips, and it's like Will Wheaton himself gives such a muted performance, and I'm wondering if it's because he's like depressed by this point of being on Star Trek, because he was
like the other piece of this episode too was Beverly's return to the show, and so like part of this was like her being feeling a little estranged from her son, and noticing that he wasn't having like a quote normal childhood. Like he was so engrossed in just like being like in his studies and academia and being a cadet or training for Starfleet or whatever, and he wasn't like being a kid. And by the end of the episode, like she was relieved to see that he was like seemed to be like dating a girl.
Yeah, he was hanging out with Scooby-Doo girl.
Yeah, and then she's like, Guinan, what the hell's up with that girl? Because I'm activating mom mode now.
Mode activate.
Yeah.
The other thing that we never discussed in our episode about it that everyone brought up is that yes, this is Dr. Kelso from Scrubs. I don't care about Scrubs at all. I don't.
Wait, who is Dr. Kelso from Scrubs?
That visiting doctor or scientist or whatever who's conducting the experiments.
That Stubbs guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Dr. Kelso from Scrubs. I don't care about Scrubs.
I have not watched Scrubs, and I also have not cared about Scrubs myself, but yeah.
I mean, the big thing is that it's just that I just don't care about Zach Braff. I kind of don't want to. So
that's fine. Dr. Kelso wants to kill the artificial life form in this episode.
And that's why they try to kill him.
Right.
The thing is...
the nanites in self-defense try to kill him. And it's like, hey, actually, they're smart enough to want revenge.
Yeah. And I think the episode actually ends with them putting them on a planet, right? They get their own planet to like live on, right? The nanites.
I think maybe. Yeah, that sounds familiar. I think
and if that's the case, are they just going to like super quickly evolve into like a super like nanomachines race?
Yeah, that part I have no recollection of, honestly.
Oh boy. Well, in terms of
I did note one thing while going through the synopses though. The Stubbs guy is like the first major noted instance that I can remember of Star Trek being obsessed with baseball. This guy actually said, or like he had this habit like or quirk of like having memorized a bunch of baseball stats and scores and playing out whole seasons in his own mind. Like that was like a thing he did. And it's like, okay, so baseball is just something people can be randomly obsessed with.
You know why? So
What's that?
This was written by Michael Piller, and DS9 is developed by Michael Piller. Michael Piller is a huge baseball fan.
Okay, so he's a baseball guy.
He's the culprit.
Like, I was expecting there to be a through line somewhere in there.
Yeah, so that's why. It's because Michael Piller knows all these baseball facts, so that's why they're putting it in the show.
Okay. So there you go.
So in terms of tier ranking, I think it's a skip. I think we're coming on immediately with this. I can't think of anything that is like that entertaining about it, nor is it really like an interesting moment that like you should watch as like a Star Trek viewer. I mean, I just want to before we get too deep, we should explain the tier rankings because I forgot to do that. So we have the three. We have peak Star Trek, which is like the best Star Trek gets so far, at least according to our metric. Necessary viewing, which doesn't mean you have to watch it to understand something. More like it's like generally significant to Trek, so you should really be aware of it and watch it if you want to like be part of the fandom. A watch if it comes on is more of like, this is fine. If it comes on, if we lived in an era where we still watch broadcast television and it came on, then sure, we would watch it. And then skip is skip, obviously.
Right.
And I think it's in the skip area, but what do you think, Dan?
I would say that the only things going for it would be if you care a lot about Beverly's relationship with Wesley, there is some meat here for like the time she spent away from him. And like he confronts her very briefly for not being there for a season.
It's very little though. Like, it's not like that's not really.
I'm just saying, like if you want, and if that's what you're tracking, if you're trying to track for all of that like relationship stuff between he and her,
right?
There's some there, but otherwise it's not an episode I care to watch over and over. No. So I'm willing to skip it myself. Sure.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I mean, because even then, it's like. Honestly, Wesley's relationship with his mom is not that important.
No, in the grand like scheme of the show, it has not proven to be at all. So
no,
it's just
he's kind of just there, and so is she in terms of their relationship to each other. Like you'll see the occasional like they're having dinner together or whatever scene, or a scene where she slaps him, which is coming up in the season. Like, actually,
I guess if your goal is to paint the narrative of Bev as a deadbeat mom, this would be the evidence against.
Yeah, that's true. But
if what little there is,
the absence of her relationship with Wesley is plenty. Yeah. The next episode is The Ensigns of Command, which is Melinda Snodgrass's fanfic of Data, basically.
Yeah. What was her name inside the show? Adriana or something?
Yeah, something like that. Like Adriana, Andrea, some sort of A name. Let me look it up real quick. Or okay, that's why it's so hard to remember. It's Ardrian.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Ardrian with an apostrophe in the middle in typical sci-fi fashion.
Let's see where to put this one.
I mean, it's like kind of like an interesting concept conceptually, potentially, in the sense that Data has to convince a bunch of stubborn colonists to leave dying planet.
And he's like forced to use force a bit.
Yeah, which he doesn't. They try all the diplomatic means first, but eventually the guy who the producers claimed sounds like the Duke. I forgot what is his real name. I can't remember. John Wayne. Yeah, they kept accusing him of sounding like John Wayne, so they ADR'd him entirely.
Yeah, the actor's name was like Granger Hines or
Granger Hines. Yeah, Granger Hines. Yeah, most famous at this point maybe for Hell on Wheels, where he does leverage his accent to great effect because it makes sense. And I think it probably would have been fine here. They were just being dicks, I think, the producers. But then the B plot along with that is that scientist lady, Ardrian, starts falling in love with Data. And she also happens to be a redhead who kind of resembles Melinda Snodgrass.
I actually found a quote on Memory Alpha from Melinda Snodgrass regarding this episode.
Oh,
and okay. I can read it for you.
Okay.
I wanted to take Data one step further in his development as a human being. I wanted to stress him and have him face a situation where logic isn't enough to show that in order to command, you have to have charisma. You have to learn how to wave your dick and hope your dick is bigger than the other guys.
So she wants to see that dick getting waved. Okay.
Yes. She wanted Data to wave his dick around. That episode specifically.
Some of the funny parts are the parts where like he pratfalls because the Granger Hines' character like shocks him, and then he also Data starts shooting them with phasers.
I don't recall. Like I remember Data shooting like that aqueduct thing. But I don't recall if he shot like people. Did he shoot people?
I think he started shooting people too. I don't remember for sure.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
There's another piece of this episode which was the Sheliak, and that
I totally forgot that part. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. The other garbage bag Venom race that were a bunch of lawyers.
Yeah.
And what I liked about this section of that episode was it was a showcase of Picard having like some combative diplomacy. A bit like he had to come up with like I found this clause which allows me to name a third party arbitrator, but these guys are in hibernation right now and it's going to take 6 months before they're available. But I want them to be the arbitrators and I get to choose whoever I want. That's so true. Either you give us the 3 weeks we need to evacuate these guys, or, you wait 6 months.
Yeah.
And like he used like the law.
Which they love. These guys, those goo guys love the law.
Yeah, he filed for an administrative stay.
Yeah.
did not enforce the ruling in the lower courts. And so it worked.
Yeah.
And so they were able to get that colony off whilst Data was shooting up their shit and convincing them, hey, you have to go because this is just a piece, dudes.
Yeah.
The Sheliak are going to fucking destroy you.
That's why they needed to leave, because it was the Sheliak doing stuff.
Yeah, the Sheliak were like, because this settlement had apparently popped up in a place where it shouldn't have. It was like a crash landed colony ship.
Right. That
just kind of settled there. And the Sheliak were like, what the fuck? We're humans here. We're going to get rid of them. Yeah, and the Federation was like, well, no, wait. Give us some time. We can get them out. And it's like, nope. Give us, like, these are the rules. We're going to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, maybe this is a watch if it comes on.
I think it's a watch if it comes on.
It's not like amazing by any means, but there's like some fun moments. It's entertaining enough, I think. It's not like amazing by any means, though. That's what I think. The next,
I like to think that Melinda Snodgrass thinks it's really hot that Data feels nothing.
Oh, he can fuck so hard and not feel any of it.
So cold. Your heart is a mystery.
Why does he wear a mask?
Watch Mortal Kombat, everybody.
Or just listen to the soundtrack, because that song's nowhere in the movies or anything.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Specifically one by the Immortals.
He's a Chinese ninja warrior.
Always has been. The Lin Kuei don't play.
The artists, the Immortals were informed enough to know that ninjas are Japanese, so they have to clarify that this is actually Chinese ninja warriors.
Yeah, who knows? It might have been Tobias Boone, or
I like to think the Immortals corrected him. He was like, "The ninjas are Japanese, not Chinese. We'll fix this in the song. Don't worry."
All I know is that Johnny Cage is not afraid to die.
Yeah. Man, imagine if those songs played during their fight scenes. That would have been so fucking hype.
It could have, honestly, that could have. There should be an alternate cut of the movie with like alternate fight scene music.
Yeah, like Sub-Zero's being introduced and it goes, "Oh, Chinese Ninja War."
That feels like we should make that. You should make that.
Make a fan edit, yeah. That'd be easy enough. That'd be easy enough, to be honest.
Yeah, there's got to be a way to get a track that has some OST list stems.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll put the Ensigns of Command there. Watch if it comes on. Next is The Survivors, which is Rick Astley torturing Deanna.
Yeah, I forgot that the actual name of the Dowd was Kevin.
Yeah,
like, we call him Rick Astley as a joke, but his actual name is also really plain.
Yeah, he's just Kevin.
His name is just Kevin.
Kevin.
That's him.
It's just the Canadian rapper on the planet.
Yeah, like I have very strong meme memories of this episode because I've seen Deanna like freaking out with her mind with like all kinds of other music that isn't the music box that she's hearing.
Yeah. It's used a lot. It's an exploitable for sure. Like
so like I think I hear like mariachi music in particular from like one particular edit I used to watch or see.
Right. Yeah. But basically it's that like they discover two people who are the only surviving colonists on a planet, and it turns out there were no surviving colonists on the planet, and it turns out that Kevin the Dowd is the only survivor, and he's basically as powerful as Q, if potentially more powerful, because he just wiped out an entire race with a thought.
Right, he wiped out 50 billion Who's Knock.
Yeah,
with a single thought.
50 billion Who's Not cops.
Born to die. The world is a fuck.
Who's Not is a fuck.
50 billion.
That could be the t-shirt idea. Sidebar.
Oh my god. Yes. Holy shit. No. Cut that part out. Cut that part out, and that becomes a t-shirt. Holy shit. That's really good. That's really, really good. Holy shit.
Let's do that.
Oh god, it's gonna be so good. I want that shirt right
it's
now.
It's so niche.
I want that shirt right now. It's mine.
Okay.
Okay.
It's but yeah, basically Deanna is being tortured because she can sense that he's not real, so he's like distracting her with music.
Right. It
And,
seems like a roundabout way to do it if he's that powerful.
Yeah,
honestly.
and basically the entire
also he can't bring them back. He can get rid of them easy, but he can't bring them back. I guess it's just really hard.
And I guess that might be because maybe he isn't as powerful as the Q, because the Q can literally go back in time.
Oh, he's Scar from Full Metal Alchemist. He only has a destructive arm.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yes. His brother didn't finish the other tattoo yet. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's that exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
No more analysis necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking Scar, man.
Yeah, he fights Picard with an eye patch and a sword.
All that said, though, I do like the episode as like it's a fun developing little like mystery and reveal as Star Trek goes. Like we have. It's often the case that Star Trek mysteries don't pan out so well, but this is one that, gets a good pace, I think.
Because I think it's, unlike a lot of Star Trek mysteries, you kind of are like, okay, something else is going on here, but it doesn't feel like it was like a trick at the end. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this big thing just happened to... I mean, it is a big thing that explains everything, but it makes sense why it's so big. And it makes sense why he's so regretful about the thing that happened and all that. So I would probably still say it's a watch if it comes on. It might be necessary viewing, but it will be very low for necessary viewing.
I'm willing to put it on low tier necessary viewing because it is one of the better examples I can think of we met a like all powerful entity episode. Like it's a classic Star Trek plot. And I feel like this is one of like the good examples of that.
And I guess it's interesting. You would think the Dowd would interact with the Q more often, but they have never interacted except in like a non-canon Star Trek comic book where like pretty much all the super powerful aliens all met together in like a council or something.
Like I'm willing to believe that they can like coexist without crossing paths, but I would sooner guess that Q would be aware of the Dowd before vice versa.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure why.
But it's just because Q seems like more of an organization that likes to police things. Like it actually tries to go after its own members to like police itself, and
and
it's trying to keep tabs on stuff.
And maybe the Dowd are like really rare, like it's possible.
Yeah, Kevin just seems like some dude.
Yeah, so that's the survivors. Next is a pretty seminal one. Who watches the Watchers? I mean, that is like probably the first example of a Prime Directive plot where it really hammers through all of the potential issues of a Prime Directive issue in a way that I think makes a lot of sense compared to previous times they did that. And
it's definitely a big Prime Directive focused episode, that's for sure. Like at this point, I feel like my memory of of seasons 1 and 2 is fading again, and so it's like I am starting to like wonder if I'm going to fall into the trap of when I encounter something in season 3, is it the first example or an early example of something that happened once or twice already?
Well, to me, season 1 in particular had 2 terrible Prime Directive examples, which was the one with the Wakanda planet. I forgot the name of that one.
Something with honor in it.
The Code of Honor. Yeah, that one was terrible because it was like, oh no, we can't directly whatever because Prime Directive. And it's like, but you're talking to them now. They can travel through space. They are not a non-contact planet. So you can do more direct things. They kidnapped you. They kidnapped your chief of security. At that point, I think you're allowed to intervene.
Right.
And then the second one that was even worse is Justice. Like Justice is Wesley fucked up on a planet, and they just basically say, "Please let him go," and then they do.
Right.
Like they shouldn't have been on that planet in the first place because they are definitely not a spacefaring planet. For some reason, they made an exception to go down there and fuck these people, but and decided to bring Wesley with them of all people. And I don't know. It's just very, very bewildering.
They just wanted some shore leave, man. Have a good time. Get loose.
Yeah, it's a very weird one. But who watches the Watchers? I feel like does it like well because you have like a decent reason for them to be there. They're like monitoring a species covertly, like a proto-Vulcan species.
Right, and when they're found out, they're like, "Oh shit, what do we do? She already saw us. The damage is done. Now what do we do?"
Yeah, and I do really like the anything that is high enough technology to someone is considered magic. Therefore, Picard seems like a god to them, and that's neat. I feel like it's interesting.
Like, I don't know if I don't know how easy it is to innately believe that someone cannot control life and death just because they are injured, but it works well enough, I guess.
Well, in the episode, they know that she is the person they beam up into the ship. She becomes convinced because she sees one of the scientists die in front of her, and she then turns to Picard, goes, "You aren't a god. Like he died."
Right, but then later on like the surface, Picard is like, "Hey, like he lets himself get like hit with the spear or whatever."
Yeah, the bow and arrow. Yeah.
Oh, okay, it was an arrow.
Yeah.
And like him being wounded is like enough to convince the people down there.
Well, that's because they said if he is a god, he would just deflect it easily, but he didn't, and he got hit. So that's why they began to talk about. They weren't like convinced entirely. That just began the conversation. And towards the end of the episode, they go, "Okay, repeat back to me. I'm not a god, right? Because of this." And they go, "Yeah, because of this and this." So like it sort of like helps like put in a nicer like clean explanation bow than it is often done for these Prime Directive things. And when I think about it, I always think of Who Watches the Watchers as like one of the good Prime Directive episodes. The other is the one where Riker is caught on the planet. I think that's a pretty good one too. First Contact. That's in a different season altogether, but I think First Contact is a pretty good one.
All right.
Yeah. I think
that one's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think to me, well, what would you think? I don't want to always be prescribing.
Well, this episode also had Ray Wise in it.
Right, as the dad proto-Vulcan guy. Yeah.
Right. And it also has the earliest like it has proto-Rom face.
Yes,
both Riker and Deanna go in proto-Rom face.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also
proto-Vulcan face.
Scene.
Right, I guess that's what happens because Riker does that before he also goes down to.
No, I think he escaped. I think that's what happened. But she's still down there because they were captured or something. So I think that might have been. Yeah.
I don't remember many particulars anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say this is necessary viewing at least.
Yeah, and in fact, to me, I think it's it's higher than the Survivors for necessary viewing.
Sure.
Just because I think it sets a better tone for an important. I mean, how important is the Prime Directive really to Star Trek overall? But
not very.
Yeah, but it actually is exploring a concept they talk about a lot more effectively, and then the Survivors is like a one-off that doesn't really affect the canon very much at all. So I think that's probably
Who Watches the Watchers also like brings in some fun little like it gives background as to the like the fact that Vulcans and Romulans have a shared history. Like otherwise you don't get that from any other episode. So there's lore in here that is otherwise not picked up on. So
you get a bit of sense of like, wait, proto-Vulcans? So there's like a thing where on a certain evolutionary tract, Vulcans just start happening.
I guess so.
Which is kind of interesting.
You go far back up enough, you get the jizz pool aliens. It all leads back to jizz pool aliens.
You either become some sort of goo monster in your evolutionary tract, a human, a Vulcan, or a Klingon.
Or a Jeffrey Combs.
Oh, you're aware of Jeffrey Combs already. Oh, no.
I've only seen the meme about it. And he has yet to start appearing in, like, our shows so far.
He's not there yet. He's not there yet. But soon he'll be everywhere.
That's cool. I'm down for some Jeffrey Combs. He was great as the Question.
Oh, yeah. He's great as many things.
Yes.
Reanimator, maybe. Yeah. So, yeah. Next up. The Bonding. The episode where Worf accidentally gets a child's mom killed, so he wants to become his big brother.
Well, he feels responsible. I actually don't recall how directly responsible he is for the death of that kid's mom, but he is like like leading that mission.
Oh, it was an accident. Okay,
it's an accident.
Yeah, the mom was an archaeologist who died via some sort of
right. And the reason why that alien race like felt so bad and wanted to like placate the boy with like his like fake parents and fake cat and all that stuff was because like, oh shit, like we killed his mom by accident with an old mine left over from our old war.
Right. Yes, it was our war from the past is still affecting people. This sucks. I'm so sorry.
Like we're so guilty. We feel so bad about killing your mom. Like that war's over, but it's still like killed your mom. Shit. Damn.
Okay. Yeah.
We have a fake mom. We can raise you with a fake mom. Fake cat.
Do you like fake mom? Fake mom could be better than
Worf
real
is
mom.
Like, no, be with me. Be my brother.
Bond with me. Also, the kid is the
take
shit
RoboCop
kid.
drugs.
Yeah. Take nuke.
Yeah, that's what it is. I always forget what it's called.
It's the most Frank Miller name for a drug ever. Nuke.
Was he involved with RoboCop 2?
He was the original writer for RoboCop 2 before they completely rewrote the script.
Okay.
And only kept a few elements. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's why that movie is a bit more cartoony and why like a child is the leader of a gang. And
okay, I see.
And why RoboCop 2 is like an absurd version of RoboCop with like a big, he's basically like a huge claw monster. But yeah, that's the bonding, I think, is certainly better than Evolution.
Yeah. It strikes me as a watch if it comes on personally.
Yeah, but I think it's below Ensigns of Command.
Yeah, I would say that. I would agree with you there.
I think part of it is that there's so many... Star Trek has so many person is a ghost, it turns out, episodes that it's kind of annoying almost. It's like, this is this is not real. It's not a real person ghost.
Oh, yeah.
So
what I do like about the episode, though, is that it tackles grief and loss in a way that a lot of the other Star Trek episodes tend not to.
You're right, actually. And I'm starting to remember there's also a scene where Wesley starts to think about his dad with his mom.
Yeah. They actually have a scene where Wesley bonds a bit with his mom over remembering Jack. And there's also...
I think that puts it above Ensigns of Command. I think that makes it a little more interesting just because of you so rarely see people in Star Trek deal with grief, in that way over like the death of someone. I think that makes it way more interesting, actually.
There's also like another big line I think that affected a lot of fans. Picard tells Jeremy after like the kid says like I'm all alone now. It says like on the Starship Enterprise no one is alone.
That's really good, actually. That's a baller line from Picard, actually.
Yeah, and that's like a big line that affected a lot of people, I think. So
yeah, that makes it better than Ensigns of Command. Yeah, I think that makes it better. Yeah. Because ultimately, Ensigns of Command is more of like a fucking around kind of episode. It's not really like super important or anything.
True.
But yeah.
And one last like grief and loss bit like that I like from the episode is that Riker has a conversation with Data, and Data asks like, "Hey, everyone always asks like how well you knew someone after someone dies. Like, why is that?" And Riker's like, "Well, the more well you know someone, like the more you might care about them, the more it might affect you." And like they have like a little conversation about like, why is it that humans care more about the people that they know? And if people cared more about people that they didn't know, maybe history wouldn't be so bloody.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. One thing that I remembered about the bonding was during the conversation that Wesley has with Beverly, he says like, I don't remember his face sometimes. And
yeah.
That's a good line.
All that stuff is there's a few like good moments, like Picard, obviously that moment, but then like it's one of the things where sometimes you're like, Wesley has a good well-written moment here and there that actually is based on his character versus him being some sort of super genius. So
right,
that makes sense. So yeah, let's leave it there at a high watch if it comes on. The next episode is the infamous Booby Trap.
This
which
feels like necessary viewing for like a major event that is crucial for later episodes.
I think even with like again outside of like the canon of requiring it to understand something, I think it's just a really big fandom moment where you start realizing Geordi is a huge pervert.
Well, I still hold that like within the confines of the episode, the ship is coming on to him.
But he chose to keep going. I think it's worse when
I need to watch it again to like reevaluate the bits, but I feel like I don't want to get wrapped up in the Geordi was always a pervert, always 100% a pervert the whole time.
He slid into being a pervert really quickly, though. I mean,
by the time the actual Brahms showed up, holy shit.
Holy shit,
fuck
yes.
off. Like, stop it, Geordi.
Well, here's the thing. I think even in this episode, the context of... it makes sense that he needs Leia Brahms to better understand the warp drive, right? And like trying to figure all this out. Ship construction makes sense. But the moment the thing starts like becoming way too friendly with him, that's when he should have been like, okay, what am I doing? This is a hologram of a real person. I need to dial this back. And he doesn't. He just keeps sliding into it. Like, you know, like if you created a hologram of like Ricardo to like understand something about Taco Bell or something, and then eventually that hologram started coming onto you, you'd be like, whoa, wait, let's hold on. I know Ricardo in real life. He's a real person. I need to stop.
But Geordi did not.
Well, it's still a real person.
He knew she was a real person, but he had no clue that he would meet her one day.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it reminds me of like you can do like there's like a recent thing that came up. So there's a wrestler called AJ her name is AJ Lee, and she, you know, they do fan photos, right? Like, you know, at conventions and then meet and greets, and then one guy AI'd the photo he had with her to AI her kissing him, and to me that is
that's
booby
not
trap.
Good.
That's booby trap. Like it's like Geordi doesn't do it on purpose, but he doesn't like stop it, and at the end he does kind of actively initiate the kiss with Leia Brahms' hologram.
Okay, I haven't seen it, so like your memory has to like override mine here, so I'm not going to push back on this. Like
he leans in as she leans in too at the end.
Okay,
and they do a kiss.
If you say so. Like,
but it's
I don't know.
It's famous.
I just like within the confines of the episode, I'm willing to view it as the writer originally tried to frame it, like the guy who's in love with his Pontiac, the guy who's in love with his car.
I mean, I think that's fine too. I think it's just that it goes too far based on the fact that it's like a person.
It gets out of hand.
I mean,
it gets out of hand.
I think it could have worked in a non-gross way if it turns out he created a completely separate, fictional, humanized version of the Enterprise. Maybe he was like, I need to like have a better interface with the Enterprise. I need to like converse with it. And he creates a woman that is the Enterprise D. And then they can talk.
Right. And I think they might have like that might have essentially been the concept, but they might have thought within like that same moment, like we can't just make it the ship. Like, it has to be a person.
I mean, Futurama did it. It worked.
Right. Futurama's good.
Futurama's good. It's way better than Star Trek.
You know what? Overall, like, I've had much better times with Futurama, to be honest.
You haven't seen the rest of Futurama, Dan.
Well, that's the thing. I haven't needed to, and I've only seen this much of Star Trek. And the track record between the both of them, for the ratio-wise, for what I've seen, Futurama has a better
one.
Yeah. There's a lot of Star Trek, too.
There's a lot of Futurama, and a lot of it's terrible.
I don't need to watch the rest. I'm not doing a podcast about Futurama. I'm not on the bag for that.
Well, I preemptively put it at a high necessary viewing. I think it's more important than Who Watches the Watchers. It's like a really pivotal fandom moment for Geordi. It sort of like sets the tone for him, to be honest, in my opinion.
True. It really does. A couple other points from the episode, though, that I extracted was that's the episode where we learn that Guinan likes Baldies.
Yeah. She's sort of into
She tells
Picard.
Geordi, well, like Geordi goes to Guinan for advice, and her only advice to him is like, I like bald guys.
Yeah.
Bald guys saved me once. I liked it.
Yeah. And
that's all she had to say to him.
Well, and then I think it's because she likes Picard because retroactively you later then realize through Time's Arrow that the guy who saved him was Picard. Saved her was Picard. So that
right, and like I'm pretty sure like that's the one line they used to hang a lot of Time's Arrow on.
I wonder, you know how like that episode of DS9 we just watched, the Arrivals, that guy was supposed to be Guinan's son. I wonder if that was supposed to be Picard's son from the past.
Oh boy, that would have been an interesting way for that to go.
That would have been crazy if it was like, Picard, I had a son with you from back in Mark Twain times.
It could have happened, I guess.
Yeah, it could have. Yeah.
Like I'm still a bit peeved that we have yet to, or like Guinan's relationship with Picard. That's as far as it ever got.
Yeah.
In terms of like explaining their backstory, like they met once with Mark Twain involved, and that's it.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's fine this is fine as a high viewing or high necessary viewing, I should say. So not a high viewing, not like a Ricardo. So yeah, the next is The Enemy, the one where Geordi and a Romulan guy are trapped on a planet.
Right.
And they have to work together to survive.
I feel like there's a lot about this episode that gets echoed in the Defector.
Yeah. And the Defector does it in a
like
more...
this. I like the Defector more as an episode, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's not like The Enemy's a bad episode either.
No, it's a classic, like, two guys have to work together. One can't see. One is injured. How are they going to work together to get out of this survival situation?
It also has, like, the bit where it's like, hey, Worf, your blood could save this Romulan. Will you donate your blood? And Worf's like, no, I don't want to. And Romulan's like, fuck you, I don't want your blood.
Yeah, I mean, that's like okay, like a lot of fans give Worf slack or crap for doing that, but it's like flack. Yeah, this for doing that. What did I say? Flock?
You said crap, slack. You said slack first, then crap,
and crack. But then
frap.
But then that Romulan ended up being super racist to him and then like rejected him. So he's like, okay, fine, fuck off, I guess. Like,
well, yeah, they were pleading with Worf to give blood right up until he died of like, on his own. But yeah, it's not like he was at any point asking for Worf's blood.
That would have been different if the Romulan was like, you're the only one who can help me. And Worf, and then if Worf is then saying no, then sure, that's a little on Worf.
And Worf would have been a real baller.
He would have been so much cooler. I think I don't know if it's necessary to watch this one, but I think it's like a higher watch if it comes on.
Yeah, it's I would easily put in watch if it comes on. It's the very first appearance of Commander Tomalak, which is that Romulan dude that kind of was around throughout the season.
Recurring semi-recurring villain. Yeah,
he was like the season's villain essentially.
Yeah. I think
it also contained a little bit, one of Riker's like little show talks about the folly of generational hatred and violence. There's a bit of
there's like a little speech and all that.
He gives one of those.
Maybe it's above the bonding, or maybe it's right below. It's like pretty close. They have different reasons for why they would, because The Enemy is like it's like a classic not fun, but like interesting setup of like,
one thing I do like is the Cold War, like brinkmanship is a dangerous game bit at the end.
Right.
Like the reason why they don't like blow up a peace treaty in the neutral zone is because it's like, hey, you're doing some shady shit too. And if we both look the other way, none of this happened.
That's true. And I think actually also
that's fun. I kind of missed that about early Star Trek seasons.
And I think it's also interesting that this is the first time you kind of see a crack in the Romulans' like armor of like being completely hostile to the Federation, because you start turning around that one guy. He was like, he treated me well. They did nothing wrong. you know?
Yeah, he saved my life.
Yeah, I think that might put it above the bonding, just because as a result, that makes it so that, like, I don't know. I feel like that's a kind of a more interesting overall place to land on, especially if we're coming into talking about the Romulans as well. Because it was only at the end of season 1 where they reintroduced the Romulans, and now we're already starting to see cracks in the way their empire is. So I think it's a good spot.
Yeah, lots of Romulan activity in this season, I would think.
Yeah. The next is The Price, which is primarily remembered for Deanna having lots of sexy situations.
All right, it's the source of the infamous like spandex aerobic scene.
Yeah, where they're spread-legged, touching each other feet to feet while pulling each other back and forth in a redressed version of engineering.
In like backwards leotards or something.
Yeah, they literally just wore leotards backwards to emphasize their breasts.
Yeah.
And then there's the infamous super close-up foot rub scene.
That was in that episode?
That was in this episode. Because you have the guy who was like a mind reader.
Right, he was a quarter Betazoid. That was
was it a quarter?
Like, late in the episode.
Okay, so he's a quarter Betazoid. Okay. So like that's why he can like use that for his negotiation. Because they're after a version of DS9.
Yes, it was the fake out. It was DS9 before DS9 because it's like, hey, here's a stable wormhole. These are the negotiations over like how to utilize its resources and how to negotiate its use and blah, blah, blah. But the crux of the episode was actually it's not stable.
Yeah.
The other end spits you out any old place.
And 2 Ferengi get trapped on the other side and they're dead.
For laughs. they're left for dead for laughs.
Yeah.
And I laughed.
So funny.
I kind of couldn't believe that's what they did. It was funny.
And then what's it called? The beta, that quarter Betazoid guy. Is it like sexual assault rape because he's basically like kind of like uses his mind powers to convince her that she likes him? You know, isn't that how it went?
I don't think he was using anything to coerce her. He was just like feeling her out the same way she could him. If anything, she has more mind powers than he does because she's half, he's quarter.
But I feel like he's using mind powers to like
okay,
what
he was not forthcoming about the fact that he was quarter Betazoid. So he was like, that was the deception, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he was doing anything beyond that. And Deanna was accusing him of unethically utilizing his powers as, you know, to cheat in negotiating tactics. And he was like, well, you do it for diplomacy. And she's like, well, that's different.
What?
I can't really remember how that landed.
Yeah, I don't remember how this episode ends. I know the wormhole goes away.
It turns out that the Ferengi who tried to shoehorn themselves into the negotiations were in cahoots with the blue-eyed guy, with the Prince Charming dude.
Okay.
And he was like, they had like some sort of plan on the side, and Deanna finds out like through her Betazoid powers, like, hey, they're not feeling actually tense in this exchange, that they're putting on a show for us, and they have like some side deal going on. And, and so she exposes like a side deal he has with the Ferengi.
Oh, okay.
And then the wormhole also is revealed to not be like real.
Yeah.
Because it's not real, the negotiations are no longer like real or needed, and everything kind of like unravels from there, I think.
But is any of that important compared to the spandex scene?
According to the fans, I don't think so.
See, to me, because of how infamous that scene is, I think that stupidly makes it a low necessary viewing.
It's also, I think, the first major instance of Deanna's like chocolate preference.
Oh, is it? Is this the first time where she's super talking about chocolate?
This is the one where she emphasizes real chocolate. And I think that's the first, earliest like instance I can remember of her like chocolate. Like, I don't want to call it an obsession because I think it's been flanderized a bit, but
yeah, it's just her like really, she just loves chocolate.
Yeah. Like, although if it's a treat, she prefers chocolate.
The closest she gets to being obsessed with it is the time she describes how you're supposed to properly eat chocolate ice cream, and it's like sexual, like the way she does.
Talks about the rim of something. Or
like you put your spoon around the rim, and like you scoop gently. And you savor each bite, and it's like, okay, All right.
Mhm.
It's just chocolate ice cream, Deanna.
Well, Star Trek is very horny.
Yes.
It's hornier than anyone gives it credit for.
That's the thing. Everyone like it's like
Nerds are horny.
I know people who don't watch Star Trek don't realize that it's one of the horniest mainstream shows. like cable like broadcast TV shows that are like it's really horny. It's funny because there's like a video by a YouTuber I watch, Angela Collier,
Mm-hmm.
and she started ranking kids shows, PBS kids shows, and then she just has a side mention of like, it's not like there's shows that are like made for adults, but you can watch with kids, like TNG. And I was like, really? You can watch TNG with kids? Given all the sex in it, and the episode where they blow up a guy's head, is that kid stuff?
it's select pieces of TNG that are objectionable. Like for the most part, I'd say it's kid friendly.
Okay.
Or like kid friendly enough. What age of kids are we talking here?
Like kids who are young enough to watch PBS Kids, which is like educational baby kid shows, like 4 or 5 years old.
Sure. I was watching Batman. He was gunning everyone down.
Oh well, we our parents. My dad.
And that turned out fine.
My dad watched Taxi Driver with me when I was like 9 or 10. So
and you turned out fine.
Did I? No, we did not turn out fine.
None of us turned out fine.
We're fucked.
Oh god.
But then I don't know. I think it belongs at really low necessary viewing. I don't know what you think, but
for the price, yeah, sure. It's like it's memey.
Yeah, it's because
it's full of memes.
It's one of the biggest meme sources for TNG. So I feel like you gotta know about it. You know what I mean? So.
I noted here when doing my research that Beverly in this episode says that she fell for someone who wasn't Jack right before.
Yes, that's the thing where you realize, Beverly, I feel like Jack was someone she settled for. That's the way.
Yeah, and I think originally when she first said that story, it was kind of easy to think like, oh, is she talking about Picard? But no, Jack introduced her to Picard, so this is someone else.
Yeah, I think she just settled for Jack. I think that's kind of what the narrative comes down to. And then he became a bigger part of their lives functionally when he died, because then they're like, oh, well, now I feel guilty about him being dead. So
maybe that's one way to read it. If you read it that way, then you get really mad when Beverly doesn't get with Picard at the end.
At least in the way they don't get together. That's the problem for me. If you don't want if you want them to not get together, that's fine. But in such an apathetic, whatever, nothing way. But anyway, that's a different season. The next episode is The Vengeance Factor. The one where Riker falls in love with a servant, basically.
This is Utah, the Partha
Sala Utah
lady. Yeah, that's
yes.
her.
Yeah.
This is the first of the breakout group from a society episodes of the season, I want to say.
Yeah, that
they're being treated by their homeland to come back and resettle for some reason. I forgot why.
I think it's a population issue or something. They just need to have more
Okay, so that's what it is. And it's like, well, we want to be free, and it's like, well, you guys are uncouth. You're a bunch of Mad Max marauders.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what's going on. Is that we just need more people to reintegrate into our society, blah blah blah. That, or it might just be peace negotiations on top of that.
Maybe something like that. But yeah, it turns out that behind the scenes, Utah is a long-lived, she's way older than she looks, and she's an assassin for who was somehow genetically enhanced because of an accident.
Yeah, and
in order to take revenge for her clan.
Yes, she has if she touches the other clan, they will die.
Yeah, she has a special super virus that only targets the rival clan.
Yeah. It's a little convoluted. Why not just shoot him?
It's a little stupid.
I'm sure there might be an explanation for why not just shoot him, but once they're in the room, why not just shoot them?
Yeah. I mean, Riker just shoots her.
Exactly. Yeah, there's nothing that stops a phaser in that
It's
room.
like,
So
hey, you better not kill him. I'm gonna just shoot you.
yeah, no, I won't just grab you, or
Better stay away. I'm just gonna shoot you the way you should be doing right now to him.
or like, why not just keep it set to stun and just keep stunning her? Like he just lets go. Like just keep stunning her.
Yeah, there's really no reason why you can't maintain a stun, right?
Yeah, just keep stunning her. Just keep stunning her.
Or does their phaser have like an overheat guard where
No,
it's like
because
it can
they use
only
it to, like-
sustain 10 seconds of stunning?
No, because they use it at higher levels to like cut open like doors, right? Like they're like
True.
phasering, like they're basically using it as like a torch to like cut
Maybe
open metal.
he just really wants to conserve battery.
He forgot to charge his phaser before he flew it down. And during that entire assassination, no one gets up from their seat to run away.
Yeah, Picard's just like, what the hell's happening?
But that precluded the Utah and Riker have an almost sex scene until Riker realizes, oh, your master told me to have sex, or told you to have sex with me. That's weird. Let's not do that.
Also, just in general, you just act really subservient. It's kind of creeping me out. I
Don't
like
do that.
consent.
I am a purveyor of consent, please.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's Riker's story in this episode.
Right. Well, in another episode, we start getting confused.
There's debatable evidence later.
Yeah.
But at least in this episode, he loves consent.
Yeah. What is this? Is this what do you think this is?
I think it's either the bottom of Watch If It Comes On or the top of Skip.
I think it's a high skip personally. Because do you want to watch it if it comes on?
Yeah, only if it's like, oh, let's put TNG or other worse shows. and then that's the episode that you get. I'm kind of okay with that.
Netflix,
Fine.
filter out to TNG or worse. Then you get the vengeance factor.
There should be there should be streaming services that recommend you things this way, filters like that.
Yeah, like you go to Yelp, it's like 4 stars or up. No, I want 4 stars or below. I don't want any 5-star restaurants.
Who do I think I am?
Okay. Next episode is the Defector, the good Romulan messed up episode. The one where you get the guy who is trying to warn everybody about Fire Festival.
Right, Admiral Jarok, which is why we called him Jarul.
Yes, he's very good. He's almost there.
He was posing. He was not saying he was Admiral Jarok, but he was posing as some guy named Setal.
Yes.
But his whole thing is like, hey, I'm defecting. I have I heard about this crazy plan, and it's out in the neutral zone. You gotta believe me. They're gonna launch this crazy attack, guys.
Yeah.
And the Enterprise is like, we don't really trust you, but we gotta check.
Yeah.
And turns out that he really believed the plans and he saw everything. But it turns out that the Romulans were testing his loyalty. And
this is a good example. To me, this is a great example of Star Trek's doing mystery plots and twists. There's a lot of twists.
Yeah, this is a good twisty episode.
Yeah,
I love the twistiness of this episode.
It's a good set of slow reveals. Who is this guy? Oh my god, he's one of the highest ranking admirals. Oh, he is telling the truth, but the truth was a lie, not because of his fault. And it all makes sense in the context of Romulans being like this. So you're right. Oh, this is great, and it's a great performance by the guy who plays Jarek. I forget his name, the actor, but he does a great job.
Yeah, and it all makes sense and it's affecting because the reason why he defects is because he wants a better future for his family.
Yeah.
It's all for the sake of his family, and he is devastated that his quest to protect his family was for naught and was actually doing the exact opposite. Like,
And
he's
at
doomed
the
his
end,
family.
and at the end, he kills himself, which I always forgot.
Which is a detail. Yeah, I keep on forgetting this detail. I keep on saying like, "Hey, bring back that guy."
Yeah, because you keep referencing. It's like, why didn't he come back? Why won't? No, he's fucking dead. That's why. They put They put a tiny bow on that character. He's not coming back.
Yeah, but yeah, that was definitely one of the episodes in my early viewings that like convinced me like, oh man, TNG can get really good sometimes. And this is one of them.
I think it touches peak Star Trek. I think it's.
I would put it there personally.
I think
like,
it just
it's one
makes
of my
it
favorites.
in. Yeah, I think it just gets in there in terms of like the concept. The concept is like okay, but it's really well executed to me. Where it's like you could see like it being written in a way less interesting way and just not turn out good. But I think it turns out quite good.
Yeah, and it's still leveraging that Cold War tension, like setup or backdrop that the Romulans and Neutral Zone have
in a really interesting way. Like it's not like just And I think it's not a coincidence that it's written by Ronald Moore. You know, like I think he knows what he's doing with this type of like character-driven political stuff. That's kind of what Battlestar Galactica is about, right? So, character-driven politics. So, yeah.
This is also the episode where that mentioned Nelvana 3, which has become a point of discussion in other episodes.
No spoilers.
Elsewhere. This is also the second appearance of Commander Tamalak.
Yes.
And also, one bit that I completely forgot about is that Worf. They sprinkle in tiny little hints that Worf is up to something. He keeps on needing to excuse himself to go do a thing or talk to a guy or this or that. And it turns out that it's because at the very end in the Neutral Zone, when the Romulans show up and say like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing around this empty planet, guys?" But they have Klingon birds of prey called in as backup.
That was sick as hell when that happened. You're like, oh, it's so cool that like they call him the favor from the Klingons. That's fucking sick.
Like Worf calls in a favor.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. That was an awesome ending, actually. Yeah. Where it's like you
all
see
that together, it's good.
It's like you see the Cold War tension, but you also see the payoff of them becoming friends with the Klingon Empire. You're like, oh, the politics of this are really cool.
Alliances are cool.
Yeah. That's peak Star Trek. Yeah, you're right. That's peak.
Yeah. It's also the very first episode ever aired in the 90s. January 1st of 1990.
Oh, all right. Oh, New Year's Eve. Wow. Yeah.
New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. You're right. Day, not Eve. Yeah. The next episode is The Hunted. This is one of the episodes where I was like, I vaguely remember, but I don't remember.
Another group of people abandoned by their homeland.
This one is like super
genetically
soldiers,
modified super soldiers.
Yeah,
who are like, hey, you guys are getting a little too violent and crazy. We're shipping you off to your own little place.
We're gonna trap you on the moon. That's what it was.
Yeah, or something like that. It has shades of like the Cowboy Bebop movie, where it's like, hey, we made the bunch of super soldiers and we abandoned them.
Yeah, it's exactly like the Cowboy Bebop movie.
I mean, that's a major plot point. It is.
Yeah. It has.
It's like a treat your vets well sort of allegory type of episode
to an extent. Yeah,
there's a shade of that.
It gets wackier because it's also like the super soldier's so strong that he can break out of like transportation beams and shit. Like
I don't remember all of those particulars, but I do recall that at the very end of the episode, it has my favorite use of the Prime Directive to date.
Yeah.
Basically, Picard uses it to go like, hey, you know what? Screw you guys. Sort your shit out. We're out of here because according to the Prime Directive, like, you are not worthy of our consideration yet.
No, they wanted to join the Federation. That's how it started, right? I think that's what happened. Like, they came to like try to see if your application for joining the Federation will be accepted. And it ends with them saying, your application's rejected. Come back later when you sort this shit out.
Right. And like the line that they give them earlier in the episode is like, hey, don't interfere with our like internal affairs.
Yeah. And then he's like, you're right, I won't. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, all right, this is your internal affairs shit. You sort it out. We're out of here.
Yeah. And he's like, I remember there being a line of like, well, we'll recontact the government if it still exists.
Right.
So that's pretty good. Also, James Cromwell's the president. So that's another.
I forgot. Like, I remember, like, he's the type of actor who I see and I recognize as like an actor I've seen in other things, but I never remember what it is I've seen him in.
Maybe the most famous is the farmer from Babe.
Oh, right. Okay. That's easy enough to. Like,
that'll do,
onto.
pig. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Thin mustache guy.
Yeah, not always. In Babe, he's mustacheless. So, and that's maybe
in the episode he had a thin mustache.
Yeah, that's a little thin mustache, a little pencily mustache. This is like maybe it's a watch if it comes on, just because of the end is kind of like satisfying. It's a really satisfying ending.
Yeah. For that reason, watch if it comes on feels about right for that.
But I don't know if it's higher than Ensigns of Command or below it. Might be higher. Might be higher.
Like, if I remember, wasn't there like a bit of The Hunted where like the super soldier guy has a like exciting like escape sequence through the Enterprise where he like outsmarts everyone? Also,
he beats the shit out of Worf. Yeah, they have a fight in one of the cargo bays, and for some reason,
he does like some comm badge like chicanery. I forget.
Yeah, and like
bullshit.
It's like there's one scene I think where they're trying to transport him elsewhere, but he's so strong he literally breaks through the transport like field while he's.
Oh man, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he kind of like goes like that and like punches through almost and like just bursts out, and you're like, wow, what is going on? And also when he's doing that fight with Worf, in that scene, Worf gets a bunch of crates thrown on his back, but his back is not crushed.
Yeah, and it's not that like horribly damaging plastic that the barrel's made out
these
of.
are plastic. These are definitely plastic.
No, but it's the barrel that's made out of the really damaging plastic. Yeah, that blue damaging plastic.
That dark matter that bounces off of him instead.
Yeah. It's like the video game where it's the color that imbues its power.
Oh yeah, they should have made it a red barrel so that it explodes.
No, because it didn't explode. See?
Yeah. It's funny. I always think that barrel scene add a sound effect, something, not just the empty plastic bunk sound on his back.
Would you like a crunching bone noise in there somewhere?
That's what I mean. A sound effect of something. Make it sound like more metallic or heavy, like a thud versus like a thunk. And then something. You got jazz it up a little to convince me there's dark matter in this fucking barrel.
Wait, is that really what they said was in there?
Yeah, it's like dark matter or something super heavy. Like it's something very heavy.
Because I'm used to dark matter being the like nibbler poop.
Yeah.
And like the way they depict that is so heavy.
Okay, I'm just looking it up. What was inside the barrel that broke Worf's back? Okay, it was something called quaratum.
Okay, maybe it's lighter than helium.
Well, it's apparently super heavy and it's super unstable. Quaratum. It's okay. I thought of it as dark matter because it is a fuel source, much like dark matter is in Futurama. That's why.
Okay, I've finally found the headcanon that works for this. This was in a shuttle bay, correct, or a cargo bay?
I think it was in a cargo bay. Yes, it was in cargo bay 3. Yeah.
If we assume that this is also a variable gravity environment, as we have seen elsewhere posted in the shuttle bays, it stands to reason that it was a very high gravity like focus right around where his back was. And
a split
very
second
low,
it hit him.
Yeah, and then a very low gravity sphere just off to the side so it could bounce away.
Man, the cargo bay sucks to work in if it works like that. Suddenly you're like, whoa, and then you fall to the floor. It's like suddenly the weight of Jupiter, and you're like, oh my god, oh.
Suddenly your lungs collapse.
Suddenly your diaphragm separates from your lungs and you're like, oh.
Ew.
All right. That's the price. No, that wasn't the price. That was the Hunted. A lot of duh titles. The Hunted, The Bonding, The Price.
On to the next, The High Ground.
Yeah. This one is, again, separatists.
Uh-huh. This time, very terrorist flavored.
Yeah, they are a direct allegory for the Troubles, basically.
Yeah, they're being the IRA.
Yeah, basically. They are basically the IRA, and it's supposed to be like, oh, Beverly's captured. She's on the inside.
This had the infamous "if you grow up" line.
Yeah.
Told the kid.
You could be a doctor when you grow up. If you grow up.
Like right to the kid.
Yeah. Not even, like, to be fair, it's not to the kid, but the kid is right next to her. Like,
right. Like very much, like, still there within the conversation. Like, she has decided to end the conversation on her own, but the kid's still engaged.
Yeah, the kid's like, oh, what?
Why'd you say that?
That's mean. And there's like terrorist shenanigans. The episode starts out in like basically like a food court.
Yes, they mentioned the Irish unification of 2024 in this episode, which has not happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, which proves we are in the bad timeline.
Yeah, we're in the bad one.
And then they also like invade the Enterprise at one point. They have like a super teleportation power, but that's like slowly killing them.
Yes. They use a crazy like interdimensional phase shifter to get around and not be caught, but it's killing the shit out of them. Yeah. And that's how they attach a bomb to the warp core.
Yes.
And Picard gets the bomb transported out by attaching his comm badge to the bomb and telling them to transport it away.
Yeah.
And then it explodes right off the nacelle.
Yes. How does it end? Picard gets captured too or something? Or he goes down? And then...
I don't recall so well. But they happen.
They eventually die, the terrorists. Or freedom fighters, depending on how you view it. And I guess...
I honestly can't remember what happened.
I feel like that alone is enough to make it a skip. I don't know how important this is.
Yeah, I'm easy to skip that one.
It's also not like not a good example of like terrorism or freedom fighting, in my opinion. Like, because I didn't like a DS9 in general becomes a much better example overall.
Yeah.
So I think in their discussion we were like, yeah, this was like a bad way of depicting like the struggles of an underclass trying to like break their way out. So I don't know.
Apparently, Melinda Snodgrass turned it into an IRA thing, like against her like preference. Like she didn't want to have to make it about that. But
right, I remember that being a trivia thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Probably better than Evolution, I think.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, let's say it's better than Evolution.
I'm fine with it settling there.
Yeah, it's probably better, not as good as Vengeance Factor. Good as I say Vengeance Factor is a bit better. Has a little bit more going on. Next is Deja Q. So Q's back, but this time he's naked and human.
I'd say that from the pool of Q episodes, it's probably in the upper half, like the better half of Q episodes.
Yeah, just because you finally find him in a position of vulnerability.
Right.
And it forces you to explore the character, versus like just being like, oh, you're just a huge dick,
Right. And this is like the episode where he actually almost kind of turns a new leaf a little bit. Like he gets guilted into being selfless a little bit.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I like the most is that they did a wise thing by, if I'm remembering this correctly, he's sort of paired with Data, right? Like
kind of. It does. This is the one that ends with him like giving Data the gift of laughter for a moment.
Yes, because Data like kindly like kind of showed him around and like they got food together, I think.
Right. Data was like, hey, this is how I've been learning how to be a human. And now that you're a human, here's what I've learned. Like, these are chocolate sundaes. People get them to like feel better or whatever. It's like, fine, I'll have 10.
Yeah, and then
fun, goofy stuff like that.
Yeah, and then like nice. They almost do a Simpsons thing of like suddenly 10 Sundays come out of nowhere.
At least they have a replicator that can help explain.
Yeah. Maybe Krusty Burgers also has the replicators. How else could they?
That's fine if that's how it's done. If that's what needs to be around for it to work, I'm fine.
What is Deja Q in terms of ranking? Because it just resolves by him getting his powers back because it turns out he decided to be a good guy. And then the Q are like, okay, we'll let you back in. So it's like...
Right. It does clue you into the fact that there are other Q.
You see the other Q show up and you're like, ugh. He's just this fucking guy dancing into the fucking...
Yeah, that was a scene that made me... that convinced me that Qs are an improv troupe.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of annoying improv people.
Yeah.
Bad improv people, not good improv people. I don't know. This one's hard because it's sort of... in the fandom, big because of the stupid mariachi thing at the end. And I don't need your fantasy women. That's kind of important for
and like
stupidness.
Putting like cigars or stogies in Riker and Riker and Picard's mouths.
Yeah. So I think because of that, it stupidly puts it on the same level as the price because they both have stupid things going on. I'd say it's below the price. Maybe it's above the price because just because it's also a better Q example. So
yeah, I'd say like Q is like a big part of TNG. I'm willing to let this be like good representation of him. Yeah.
That's the thing. We do need to have Q in the show. He's pivotal to it. You know, he starts the show off. He's in a lot of like important episodes. So you kind of need to have Q representation. So if you're wanting to make like a necessary list, Deja Q would be one of the better Q episodes to represent him. So
right, and this would be crucial, like data collection for his like understanding of human nature, presumably throughout the show.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. Next, a very controversial episode because Riker's arc isn't really resolved at the end. A matter of perspective.
Yeah, it's not resolved, but it also doesn't seem like the show itself isn't very concerned with proving to you that Riker didn't do anything wrong.
Because the thing is, by the end, you kind of do assume he is innocent of the murder.
Yes.
And likely of like rape, but he, even in the best of circumstances, he is guilty of infidelity, like or adultery, I should say. So
yeah, like the evidence that they have shown to you by the end of the episode does not paint Riker with the cleanest of slates.
Yeah, so he's sort of a jackass at the end. Did the episode end with him just like talking to Picard in his bay?
I don't recall that well.
No, that's my headcanon. That didn't happen. So yeah, that didn't happen. That's something that I wished happened. Where Picard like tries to like give him a dressing down because nobody like punishes him for basically going out of line on what was supposed to be like a routine like evaluation of like whatever this experiment was.
Riker is allowed 2 affairs per away mission.
Well, that's a lot of affairs. He goes on lots of away missions.
It was cut down to 1 after a few seasons. As a cost-cutting measure, they had cut down to 1 affair per away mission.
Right, but the central construction of the episode is it's essentially Rashomon.
Yeah, it's like show you a bunch of different perspectives of the same event as told by various witnesses, like people who are there.
Yeah, and in one, Riker's a super cool guy who's suave and beats everybody up, and in the other, it's like Tuco Salamanca. Not Tuco Salamanca. Him. It's Salamanca, the older Salamanca, beating the shit out of Riker instead.
Right. And a cartoonish display of old man strength.
Well, he is Heihachi, so, you know.
Yes. He does have the hair.
If he did the electric wind godfist on him, that would have been sick.
Spitting on the ground.
He started doing hell sweeps on him. But it's like it's a surprisingly dark episode because there's like discussions of like sexual assaults and murder, and they have to use like this. They basically use a holodeck to solve the murder mystery by recreating everything.
Right. Which is a cool concept and one that I wouldn't mind seeing explored elsewhere. But I guess that it kind of worked out a little more like as a forensic tool that Geordi used later on in that Belly episode. Yeah,
when he became a lizard, a reptile.
And it's like, hey, I want to find out what happened. Play back this thing. Now do this. And, he was Batmaning it a bit.
If that's the case, a matter of perspective, I feel like, I think it's a necessary viewing. I think because it's kind of like
It's a very interestingly structured episode for the like different perspective stuff. So
Yeah,
it's, like,
for
unique
Star
in
Trek,
that way.
for Star Trek, it's one of the most unique Star Trek episodes. Like, there's almost no other Star Trek episode that's structured this way. And generally, when Star Trek does like a court type of setup, it usually turns out fairly well. I don't think it's peak Star Trek, just because
I wouldn't say that.
There's a few unsatisfying things about it, like the fact that ultimately what Riker really did isn't fully resolved. They kind of just let him off the hook for murder and then move on. Maybe,
well, not for murder, because he wasn't the murderer. It was an accident. They proved that.
No, that's what I mean. They let him off the hook for that, but that's it. They didn't let him off. They don't then try to resolve the rest of the things he possibly could have done wrong.
Oh, when you say like let him off the hook for something, it like to me it implies that he actually did it and he's just not being punished
you're
for
correct.
it.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, they absolve him of murder charges, but as a result, they then seem to presume he's also not guilty of everything else, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, that's kind of how it feels by the end of the episode, which is like,
which is a bit weird because I don't think that's true. I'd say maybe,
or rather, it's like unimportant.
Yeah,
that part is not important.
Yeah, in the 90s, sexual assault just wasn't as important.
Literally, though.
Yeah, well, it kind of.
That's facts.
I think it's a necessary viewing, and I think it's probably in the middle just because it's more important than the survivors, I would say.
Okay.
Because other than that, I don't know if it's as important as Who Watches the Watchers in terms of what it does.
I'll be honest, my actual memories of the episode's contents are not as strong as it is. Like, it has an interesting structure, and Riker has an unresolved sexual assault charge.
Yeah, and it's a pretty decent mystery. You know, it's funny because a lot of our more, at least mine, more recent criticisms of Star Trek, it's like, you got to stop doing mysteries. But I'm starting to be reminded of the fact they used to do mysteries fairly well.
Like, yeah, these worked out much better than later examples.
Yeah, I think they just maybe fizzled out, ran out of steam for doing mysteries really well or something. I don't know.
Or maybe the distinction is between like a core central mystery versus twists.
Yeah. I think maybe also like because they're revealed in a nicely paced way that doesn't like seem stupid. Like, it's not just some alien we've never seen before at the end. You know,
Yeah.
It's like there were clues along the way that could kind of point you towards perhaps what was going on.
Yeah, like the worst examples of the mysteries we've seen are ones that just like dump an unsatisfying explanation near the end that you couldn't have prepared for.
Yeah, it's like was it Psycho? Why am I having a problem remembering the Hitchcock movie Psycho?
That is one of his movies.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is the one you're talking about right now. Yeah, that's Psycho. That's Psycho.
Yeah, okay. I don't know why for some reason I thought that's not a title. But one of the Psycho is amazing, but one of the less satisfying elements of Psycho is at the end where the detective comes in and has a full, large exposition dump explaining everything about what happened. It's like, it turns out that he's not a transsexual. He's just embodying his mom's blah, blah, blah. It's like we get it. Like,
I actually have never seen Psycho actually. So
I think Psycho has Hitchcock's best dialogue scene combined with Hitchcock's worst exposition dump at the end.
Okay.
I think that's the two problems, the two extremes of Psycho to me. But yeah, that is not what A Matter of Perspective does. A Matter of Perspective, because of the Rashomon structure, begins to slowly reveal things that have you questioning who's telling the truth in a really interesting way. And once the truth comes out, it all fits together and it makes sense. So next, one of the most important episodes of Star Trek ever made, Yesterday's Enterprise.
That's an easy peak.
Yeah, before we even discuss it, we know it is peak Star Trek. It's probably so far in terms of what we've seen in TNG, the equivalent of The Measure of a Man in terms of how good it is, but for completely different reasons. Because The Measure of a Man is like a really good, like, thematic exploration.
Wait, are you saying that this is the Cadillac of automobiles?
It's yeah. I mean,
you're saying this is the Measure of a Man of TNG, but Measure of a Man is the Measure of a Man of TNG.
No, I say it's on the same level as the Measure of a Man. That's what I was saying in terms of like, yeah. But basically, to me, it's like it's on the same level as the Measure of a Man, but for different reasons. Because the Measure of a Man is good because it's a great thematic exploration with great performances. And yesterday's Enterprise is like almost pure character interaction as to why it's good.
And it's also fun. It's a bunch
Yes.
of fun callbacks. And
Yes, it's satisfying. Like,
yes,
because it is especially satisfying for a viewer that was frustrated by what happened to Tasha,
Right.
and then the way it resolves it. It's like they really should have just left it here. And not had a different thing with Tasha, because this basically closed the book on her in a perfect way with an alternate timeline, all the very interesting things happening, realizing that in this separate universe that the Klingons are still the enemies, realizing that the Federation can be losing in a wartime setting is like upsetting. You know, it's like, oh, like this is a bad universe where. Yeah, it's just interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot of existential, like, good bits in there where it's like, well, the only way to fix this problem is to send this ship back to die.
Yeah.
And like, the ramifications of that, and how Tasha says, like, actually, can I come too? Like, I want my death to mean something.
Yeah, and Tasha falling in love with Shooter McGavin. That little thing is really great. I also love how Picard and Riker have very different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Picard is like way more stern and quietly desperate about what's going on. Like, he tells Tasha, look, nobody knows this, but we are going to lose the war. Like, you know, like there's no way we're going to win. And Riker is in such a area of frustration that he constantly questions Picard in like meetings and stuff. And like, it's interesting.
Picard also yells at Guinan in this episode.
And the interesting part is that you then have this thing of like Guinan, for some reason, can tell time is wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
She can detect when timelines are out or like off kilter.
Yeah,
she can understand, like, I'm not supposed to know you, Tasha Yar.
Yeah, which is like an interesting, like,
you're supposed to have died like a little bitch season before I ever showed up.
And it's like a in some ways slightly contrived in terms of like how she just happens to be powerful enough to do that. But I think it's fine in order to service the plot. Because otherwise, no one would ever change, right? You would just be stuck in this timeline forever.
And
you need to have that little wrinkle as a catalyst to sort of change things.
And they do hang a lot of weight on her telling Picard, like, yo, I never ask you for nothing, but this time, fucking listen to me.
and it's like it makes Tasha like a pure hero, which is great. You know? Yeah, I love that.
It's a great just a much more graceful exit to the show.
And Denise Crosby gets to deliver like a really great performance. The scene where she's like, I was told I died in the other reality for no reason. I don't like that. Like, I want my death to mean something. And like, that's pretty meta and it works.
Yeah. And it's affecting as well because she acts it well.
Yeah, it's great. I love Yesterday's Enterprise. I had forgotten how much I loved it until we started rewatching TNG, and I was like, right, Yesterday's Enterprise, because it's not a show that it's not an episode that replayed a lot in syndication. So when I saw it again, I was like, oh shit, this one, right? And it's super good, and I'm glad that so far it's the only commentary track we've ever done for TNG, and it was probably the one to do it for, given that Ricardo was super annoyed that Tasha died in season 1. And the fact that he didn't know she was coming back and then she did, that was pretty great.
Yeah, so if you're like a late comer to Newbie Star Trek, someone who like started listening like in the later seasons and you never went back, there is a watch along track of this one specific episode where you can get to hear Ricardo's live reaction to Tasha's reappearance, because Tasha was his favorite character in season 1.
Yeah. So yeah, that's yesterday. I was like, who's your favorite character, Ricardo? Oh, it's Tasha. I was like, oh.
I mean, it's the reason why she's the one who asked Ricardo. Could you tell us what happened in this week's episode?
Exactly. But yeah, Yesterday's Enterprise, absolute banger. One of the best episodes of Star Trek in general ever made, I would say. Then we have The Offspring, which a lot of people also really, really enjoy. And I think it does have a lot of merit. It's just for some reason personally never stuck with me as emotionally as it did for a lot of people, I think.
I'm willing to toss it into necessary viewing for it being a milestone easily.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's a big character thing for Data. Absolutely.
Yes. Major like thing for Data in his like history and lore.
Yeah. And I think probably pretty quickly we could maybe put it. It's really important. I feel like it's above Booby Trap, actually.
Really?
I don't. Maybe here, actually. Maybe it's
somewhere
less
around there. Maybe.
Yeah, less than Who Watches the
Sure.
Watchers, but more. I think more important than Matter of a Perspective. There's a lot more going on. I think maybe overall in terms of the character interaction, because the best part of the episode is Lol growing up, right? Like Data creates
yes.
the empty shell and lets Lol choose their gender, and Lol decides to be a human woman, and then
Lol makes
Data,
out with Riker.
Lol, but before that, Data's like, I need you to understand human experiences. Go work at a bar.
Uh-huh.
And also, this episode was the first episode directed by Jonathan Frakes. So that's a little neat bit of trivia.
Oh yeah.
But
this was another example though of admirals suck.
yes,
And Halfdill being the offending admiral this time.
Also, for some reason, even though the matter should have been settled with the measure of a man, the Federation still wants to take control of Lol.
Every new android needs the new set of protections.
There is no such thing as case law in the world of Star Trek.
No such thing as precedent.
Yeah, there's precedent does not exist in Star Trek.
Yeah, this episode also established that emotions are terrible and you can die for having them.
Yeah, emotions will literally kill you.
Mm-hmm. And the bit that I kind of forgot about this episode that I was reminded of by looking over the synopsis again is that at the end, all of Lol's memories are inside of Data.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't
Data
like that.
absorbs all of Lol's data, all of Lol's memories. So
especially since when he's talking to the Enterprise, the crew, and he's like, Lol is gone, and but she'll always be here with us. And then they're like, oh, I know, in memory. And he's like, no, literally, she's in my brain right now. And you're like, oh, that's so weird.
And it's weird because, I think if you take it from the base premise that Lol was constructed to be kind of like a replica of Data's current positronic brain.
Yeah.
Or that is her genesis, right? That's how she started.
Yeah, but apparently the reason why is because he didn't do it perfectly. He tried to emulate it as much as he could, but to this date, no one is able to fully emulate the Sung type android positronic brain completely, other than Sung. So that's why.
Meanwhile, Sung can make really advanced wives.
Meanwhile, Sung could just make a human.
Yeah, he can just make a human. He can just make a wife.
And he never mentioned it when Brothers happened, and he summoned Lore and Data.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. Just shut up.
Shut up.
Just shut up.
We're not retconning anything. This has always been the case.
I mean, this is how the 90s media was. This is how it has to be.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Offspring fits there. Mandatory Offspring band joke. Mm-hmm. Okay, next is Sins of the Father. Another Worf-centric episode, but in a good way. I like Sins of the Father a lot, actually, because it's when we start seeing Klingon politics. In Klingon politics,
that's the beginning of it.
Yeah, and it's also, I think this is Kern, right? This is the introduction of Kern.
Yeah, it's the very first appearance of Candyman.
Yeah, Kern is great.
Tony Todd.
Yeah,
he's very good as the brother. Or he ends up becoming a really nice recurring character to that keeps popping back up. It's at first you think he won't, but then he does.
Yeah, and also obviously Tony Todd, great actor. Any role he's in, he lends so much gravitas, and he's just absolutely great as a slightly gruffer character than he usually plays, but he does it really well as Kern.
Mm-hmm. This episode also has Picard's baller line. You may test that.
He's the Chadich. Oh man, and Picard basically almost fends off 2 Klingons single-handedly with a knife. That's fucking crazy.
Good.
Yeah,
some good action in this episode.
Yes, there's wipeouts in this episode.
You can wipe some people out for sure.
Yeah, actually. And I love the ending of Sins of the Father because it's a bitter ending. It is not a happy ending.
Not only that, but the repercussions of this ending are actually felt for a while in this
seasons.
Show.
Seasons
which is rare.
Yeah, it is one of the most long-lasting effects of not as it's sort of a spoiler, but for Star Trek in general, that this happens here in this episode.
Yeah, like in retrospect, it's very surprising that this development was held to for like so well by the TNG writers and everybody like afterward. Like props to the crew for remembering the ending of this episode more often than so many other continuity developments they had.
I mean, it is such a huge thing, I guess, that it's a little hard to completely ignore.
Yeah, it's just like they always remembered to like address it when Klingon stuff came up later.
And if the episode is going to talk about it, they have like either Picard or Worf being like, remember that you're discommendated? Like,
yeah, like they made sure to remember that it was there, a piece of of what happened. It was just nice that they did.
And again, I love that ending because it's so bitter, and like Worf did everything right. And like he even gets to have a quick little sucker punch in at Duras at the end.
Right.
But he does it for...
Kempek is like, yeah.
Yeah, Kempek's like, that's sick.
Nice.
A really important episode if you care about Worf. I feel like it's top of necessary viewing.
It's very it's illuminating about Klingon politics in particular because it's a very clear indicator that they're just full of BS too. They're just full of bullshit the way we are. Fuck them.
I think it's the first time you start to realize that Worf's view of the Klingon Empire is warped and not real. It's like an outsider's perspective of what Klingon politics are actually like. And
His
it's actually
view is warped, if you will.
It's as corrupt as any other society is. So Sins of the Father. I think it should be there. If you think so too, but
I'm fine with it up there.
Yeah. Next is Allegiance. I don't remember what this is. At all.
Allegiance. It is the aliens that kidnap Picard and like 3 other people.
They're trapped in the room and they have to eat Jell-O hockey pucks. Okay.
Right, exactly. Meanwhile, a fake Picard is like gallivanting around the Enterprise and
he almost fucks Beverly. Crew. Yes. Yeah.
And tries to date Beverly and all that other stuff. So
he sings he sings a song about slavery to the
cheer up my lads, tears of glory.
To his only black crew members.
Hey, what's good? You guys playing poker?
And everyone's like, Picard
this will never happen again.
Picard is, and everyone's like, Picard is too happy. This cannot be our captain.
Right. He sings too good. That's actually like a line that he like. He suspected because he sings so well.
He's too jolly.
So I'd say that this is an easy watch if it comes on. Maybe a top of the watch if it comes on.
Is it higher than The Enemy?
Wait, which one was The Enemy again?
That's the one where Geordi and the Romulan working
No. The Enemy's better than that.
It's better than the bonding. I'd say it's better than the bonding. Yeah. So it's right there. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
This is just like, it's fun to watch Patrick Stewart being a goofball in this.
Yeah. And if you're like if you're into the Picard Beverly ship, you get to see something.
Yes.
It's the first
a major romantic scene between Bev and Picard that didn't actually involve real Picard.
But you see the actors kissing. Yes. You have that, like, which is weird because inexplicably for this, Beverly is down to fuck, but then later she's not down to fuck, but then is down to fuck, but then not. It's like, what do you want? Like, what's going on?
I think Beverly is the one that like excuses herself from the scene, though.
No, Picard's the one who says, "Well, good night," and like kind of ushers her out of the room, and that's why she's like,
Wait, yeah.
And that's why she thinks it's weird. She's like, okay, I thought we were about to fucking bust out the condoms.
Like that was the chance, and that's when it was blown.
Once she realized, like fake Picard was way cooler, then the boring Picard comes back, and she's like, aw.
Yeah, maybe she never put it together. Maybe she never realized, like, wait, that was when he was being...
she has no sense of continuity, so she's just like, that's always been Picard.
You know what? Way too much shit happens all the time on that ship. It's a little hard to know when you're talking to actually your captain and not just a possessed guy.
Yeah, I don't care about...
Or a Locutus. Or a flute man.
Yeah.
Or a mind-melded Sarek. Or who the fuck are you, man?
I don't care about what captains or which Borg. I'm here to stop a wedding. So yeah, I think it's a good spot for it. I think it's a good spot. Just have that. It's also like a fun episode because of the setup, right? And there's a monster who's like, this pocket, I cannot eat this. This is poison.
Poison. Oh. Yeah.
It's somehow I know instantly. But yeah. And, so next episode, actually, despite the stupidity of it, is an important episode. Captain's Holiday. Because
yes,
a lot going on actually in that episode in terms of developing the Picard character, really. Because you realize that Picard is a lot more like the stereotype of Kirk than people give him credit for.
Or rather, I feel like it's more of a meta thing where this is like where Patrick Stewart's desire to be more of a strapping, swashbuckling guy started to affect the show.
I think the actual quote is Picard needs to punch people more. Or something like that. So,
or I don't know who said it, but there isn't enough fighting. There isn't enough fucking.
Yes, that's what he said. Or
fighting or fornicating.
Yeah, Patrick kept saying that the trouble with the show is there's not enough fucking, effing and effing, fighting and fornicating. Right, and that's apparently what he told to Ira Stephen Bear. So, so he got his wish. He basically got an Indiana Jones episode on a sex planet. Yeah. And it was so effective, it ruined his marriage.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because he fell for Vash's stampede.
Yeah, allegedly they like spent an entire week together in his house. So they just.
Well, this is also like the introduction of Risa as a vacation spot, which is referenced many times.
Yes, Risa became Horgons are really important. Yeah, in terms of stuff.
It's so still like a popular reference on Star Trek: The Cruise, I believe.
Yeah. So let's see here. So we have two episodes.
The time traveling villains of the episode were called Vorgons. So we had Vorgons and Horgons.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh, I didn't realize. I forgot that was the thing.
Yeah, but they were after like a MacGuffin called like the Tot or whatever.
But it turned out they were like villains, like pirates or something, right? They weren't like real something.
I forget, but they like Picard convinced them that they had destroyed the artifact. I think something.
There's Ferengi too. There's a bunch of it's some sort of
like I think he like transported it away while making them believe that it was destroyed.
Right. And ultimately it's not about that. Ultimately the episode's about that he and Vash fuck.
Yes. So it was like a big opportunity or another thing Patrick Stewart wanted. It's like, hey, how about we have an episode where Picard is like blown away by a new love or like, you know, really enamored with someone because we've never seen that before.
And, you know, that's, in terms of that, Captain's Holiday. So we have some shit tier stuff at the bottom of necessary, because I think it is necessary viewing. I think
I would easily call it necessary viewing.
And I think it's higher than the price and it's probably higher than Deja Q. So I think it's better than the Survivors. It's a lot more fun than Survivors. But I don't think it's better than A Matter of Perspective. So let's put it there, I think. I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I don't know. I don't know what you think. But
remind me, which one is Survivors?
It's Kevin the Dowd.
Oh, right.
I mean, there is room for interpretation there. You could think, because Kevin is like kind of like a big mystery reveal at the end. It's just that like it's such a strong, like Risa is such a big thing. And like Vash becomes like a bigger character.
I feel like they're there for two different reasons. So like I'm okay with them just sitting next to each other.
Okay, sure. The next episode, one of the episodes I really don't like, Tin Man.
Yeah, it's a pretty annoying one because the guy is a really like obnoxious.
He's Betazoid, right?
Yeah, he's a full Betazoid and he's extra sensitive even for a Betazoid, which is why he's so like anxious and hard to deal with, and why Tin Man is his only like one true love, because it's an empty vessel that is quiet enough in thought that it doesn't
but it still like interacts with him. Yeah, somehow. Yeah. Like, but I don't know. It's like it looks like a big stogie, basically.
Yeah, it looks like a big turd in space, or a big cigar, but it's actually a living spaceship.
I don't know how much more of there is to discuss about it beyond that.
Yeah, like my only note here is I just remember being annoyed with the guy. That is literally the only bullet point I had for this episode.
Like and part of me gets the fact that like retroactively you could maybe interpret him as like an autism spectrum guy, but I don't think that's how he's written. I think he's just written annoying. Like if we're thinking of autism spectrum representation, like Data is obviously the better example. So I would probably still like discount his representation retroactively in that. And honestly,
I don't remember too much about exactly how it played out, so I would hesitate to start like trying to assign or
I think it's
evaluate it that way, but
at least in like the sensory overload type of thing, right? Because that's his that's his issue.
Yeah. He was like freaking out all the time about that,
and he's like kind of eccentric, and he hyperfixates on a certain thing. I mean, that there are like things that you could say are like, oh, these are like ASD symptoms, but overall, I like this so far the least out of all the episodes we've seen. I would probably put that at the lowest of the skip so far.
That's fine.
I just don't want to watch this episode ever again.
That's okay.
So yeah, next we have Hollow Pursuits. Pretty important.
It's a big one for like holodeck business. Like it isn't even necessarily like Barclay himself is also a notable character and everything, and this is his intro and everything, but
yeah,
like this is a major milestone in Star Trek's depiction of like holodeck ethics. And
yes, this is the first time where you see a character finally doing the thing of, wait a minute, why aren't they just using the holodeck to fuck? And like and it turns out that's exactly
why aren't like the obvious stuff that one might think about doing or one might think might happen.
Yeah.
And the funny part is some of it.
And the funny part is it does then canonize it, because later you have the perfect mate, and then the way Riker responds to getting horned up by Kamala is like, oh, I'm gonna go to the holodeck.
Kamala.
Kamala? Is it Kamala?
It's Kamala in the show.
It's Kamala.
We've all been warped by politics.
It's Kamala. Okay, but yeah, that aspect of it becomes codified almost because of Hollow Pursuits.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, it's kind of fun to see like all these fantasy fucked up versions of these characters, like a tiny Riker.
Right.
It's the most attractive version of Deanna Troi I've ever seen. There's something about her in that dress that I go, oh my gosh, she's actually really, really attractive right now.
Well, they also use like the soft, like bloomy lighting with like the Vaseline on the lens.
And I think maybe it's also she's doing like the dreamy eyes a bit. And I'm like, oh man, this is
same
actually...
with Beverly. Even Beverly gets her turn being...
Although I think Beverly's is almost more comical to me. I kind of go, oh, this looks kind of funny. But Deanna, I'm like, wow, okay. And, you know, he has a heart-to-heart with Geordi, the other one who did a sex pervert thing on the holodeck, and goes, listen,
I get it, man.
If you're going to do this, you got to do this. You got to lock the door. Well, you got to do this secretly.
Yeah, and then, like, Geordi has a point. It's like, just don't let it affect your work and your life.
Yeah.
Don't let... Just at least stop it there. And
I think that's the interesting part. I think it's interesting that his advice is to like just not to stop, but to be like, let's not let it seep out of the holodeck.
Like Geordi is realistic. I feel like you're not going to change who people are,
right?
But you know, just don't let it become everyone else's problem.
But it does kind of change.
Don't let who you are become everyone else's problem.
But
that is easy advice.
He does try to like step away from it at the end. He's like, okay, delete all holodeck programs except this one.
Right. That's the step he needed to take to make sure it didn't become everyone else's problem. Except for program 9, whatever that is.
It's a shame that the actor who plays Barclay turned out to be a huge fucking asshole. But other than that, like Barclay is otherwise great to have as a character.
There's something shitty about everything.
Yeah, and there's a part of me that can separate it just because it's from a completely different time period. So I'm like,
right, yeah. I can kind of do that even here a little bit.
Yeah, so
it's like this is old TV.
Yeah, and you know, maybe he wasn't an asshole back then. I don't know.
You know what? Like for the temperature of the time, I feel like the same person could like just not change and be perceived very differently between now and then. Yes.
Also, like I feel like we are currently in a time where like it's easier to like fall into like ditches where your views become more extreme. You know what I mean? Whereas before you can kind of like float along with some ideas.
Yeah, there are pipelines abound that.
Yes, there's a lot of pipelines now. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
They're out there, especially for the young guys. If you're young, don't
get in those pipes. Get out of the pipes.
Get out the pipes.
Yeah. Don't
They are
respect
the
the pipe.
pipes.
Don't respect the pipe. Okay.
Not those pipes. Only good ones.
So Holo Pursuits,
Made out of
where
glass.
should we put it? I think it's almost important in the same way Captain's Holiday is, and that's it's codifying certain thing.
Definitely. Like, it is a big piece of the holodeck conversation. I feel like you can't talk about Star Trek holodeck business if you have not seen this episode.
Yeah, it's a really big exploration of that in particular, aside from Barclay Creepy.
It's also what a lot of people like look to for like material and like how to understand or what to cite. It's like it helps you understand how holodecks work a lot and how their role in the society.
So I guess in that aspect, I think I would put it above Captain's Holiday right there.
I'm okay with that.
Because Captain's Holiday, the most important part is that Picard fucks and also Vosh.
Yes.
But Vosh is less important than Barclay. So that's good. Next episode, a really, really interesting episode, The Most Toys, particularly because of the ending.
Yeah, and this is one that I have a personal like distaste for because
interesting.
It's because I just have a personal dislike for the trope of the collector.
Oh, right. Yes.
I just have a hatred for the collector trope, and now you'll be my slave plot. And like just because that's literally what this whole episode is, it's like all the beats are there, every single one.
Yeah, that's true.
But it is a good version of it, and the very end of it, which is like the real interesting piece where Data concludes, hey, you know what? This guy shouldn't live anymore, probably.
That's the thing that like kind of cements it for me as like good. I don't know if this episode is necessary in terms of like overall importance.
I'm hard pressed to call it necessary viewing just for that, but
the ending is super good because it's the first time Data kind of goes, I have found a reason to kill.
Not only that, I'm gonna lie about it.
Yeah, I have found a reason to lie. And like maybe that is actually a little maybe dissatisfying in that I don't think that kind of thing ever comes up again. Like,
yeah, true.
Where Riker kind of goes like, I don't think he says it out loud, but like they kind of don't believe him, right? Because it discharged mid-flight or mid transport. So he was pulling it, and then Data kind of tries to chalk it off as like must have been an error.
Now, if this one bit had come up as a reference in dialogue when he was starting to do like crazy lore shit,
that would have been really,
against everyone. Yeah, that would have been fun. But
like in Descent, like if Descent happened, and then like they were being like, or like Brothers, where like he takes over the Enterprise, you know, and then like they're like he has lied before technically.
It's like I remember one time he came back and it said his phaser was discharged, and he told me he never fired it.
Yeah, and yeah, it's interesting. Where would you place it in terms of?
I like my personal viewing habits would place this in skip, but because I hate the trope that much. But
well, we could put it at the bottom of watch if it comes on. To me, it's a watch if it comes on, but we could put it at the very bottom of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
like, I'm willing to give it as high as a rating as you're willing to, because I know I'm unreasonable here.
Well, because the thing is, I personally think it's maybe better than like the Bonding, maybe even Allegiance, but I'm willing to just put it in general and watch if it comes on.
It does have shirtless Data.
Yeah, it has.
You care about that?
Not fully. You actually don't see the skin. You just see his clothes starting to melt off.
Oh, damn it! Never mind.
So you don't get to have the full Gordon Ramsay, but you get it's starting to come off.
This is one that you won't want to show your kids because it has a pretty gruesome like pain ray death.
Yes, but because they say
like the girl is vaporized from like the inside out.
Yeah, it's like apparently like one of the cruelest ways to kill someone in the Star Trek universe.
It's an unforgivable curse.
Yeah. So that's The Most Toys. Next is a pretty big one because it's
Sarek.
the first Sarek, because it has like the first really direct, here is TOS here.
yeah. It's like, hey, remember Spock?
And again, YouTube comments, I know the Naked Now mentions the original Enterprise. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, here's TOS character actually
I love how
here.
mad you are already.
I'm just like,
they aren't there yet.
Look. I'm just saying.
No, I get it. You've seen it. I've seen it. I've read them.
So Sarek shows up, and you're like, oh my god, it's a TOS character. That's nuts.
Yes.
And the episode TOS character mentions Spock.
He's tan.
Yeah. He's tan.
I don't know. It's like, it's kind of strikes me whenever I see him like that, because it's like Leonard Nimoy does not often like come off to be as like a very dark skinned man, but Sarek shows up. He's like, wow, he's really dark, like orange.
He's on Vulcan a lot more, so Vulcan's hot.
It is. It's a hot planet. That's something that like I feel like not a lot of non-fans realize. Vulcan's super hot.
Yeah, I mean, we forget sometimes too that Vulcan's
I forget all the time.
Yeah, it's a really hot planet. It's super hot. So basically, Sarek has Alzheimer's, and Vulcan Alzheimer's affects everyone. Hence, Beverly gets angry enough to slap Wesley, and also,
that's
Wesley is willing to call out Geordi on being a sex pervert in the holodeck. At least I don't have to create my women in the holodeck.
That's only 2 episodes after Hollow Pursuit, so
yeah, he fucking roasted him. Like Geordi had no comeback.
I guess like what's the name of the episode where he is? It was Booby Trap. That's right, Booby Trap.
Yeah, it was Booby Trap. Yeah.
How long ago? Booby Trap was fairly early in the season.
Yeah, so this would have been 17 episodes later. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. Episode 6 versus. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like they were playing with what the season has brought forth already.
Why?
Like they're remembering their own season. So
that's the thing. This season feels very cohesive. There's a lot of like discussion of what they did before, back and forth. It feels like more cohesive than later seasons.
There's more through lines.
Yeah,
like Tomalak showing up enough times, like Romulans popping up here and again, the neutral zone being like a persistent thing that they deal with.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, but it's cool.
But Sarek. How could we forget the mind meld? Yeah, which is really good. Scene. It's a very good scene. Patrick Stewart gets to flex his theatrical muscles. Yeah. By theatrical, I mean like stage acting muscles, and like play like kind of like in a lot of scenarios what would be like too broad of a thing to do, but it makes sense if his mind is filled with Vulcan emotions, so which are like super intense and stronger than human emotions. So his thing with the way he convinces Sarek is by like defeating him in a logic battle, basically, which is also an interesting resolution.
I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, he was like, well, you will need to convince me of the logic of your thought process. And then like they basically logically go through it. And then Sarek admits he's not in his full faculties. And a lot of, and it starts off with Picard saying, man, I'm a huge fan of Sarek. I would love to like spend time with him and get to know him. And he knew by the end, he knows him intimately because of the mind meld. So he got a little more than he bargained for, basically. So very interesting, actually. A lot going on. Pretty important.
This is very like intermingled with like older Trek as well. So this feels very necessary for like if you're a fan, you should watch this.
Yeah, I think I would say it's maybe personally right below Sins of the Father in terms of general like fan importance, combined with it's pretty good in terms of like and just fun stuff like Wesley getting slapped and then Beverly talking to Deanna like, I can't believe I hit him. Oh my god. So
I can't believe how good it felt.
I can't believe how much I wanted to do it again.
I can't believe it didn't do it sooner.
I would put this is a thing I want to do. I kind of want to reevaluate Booby Trap because I'm not sure it should be this high anymore. That's too high for Booby Trap, in my opinion.
We can reevaluate if you like. Sure.
Maybe it's below Captain's Holiday. I don't think it's it's not that good an episode. I don't know why I put it so high. That doesn't feel right.
I think we were just like quietly like talking about other episodes next to it, and it was just kind of sitting there while everything else was being sorted out. Like
right, it just happened to sort upwards when it really it should be a little. It should be lower. So I think I'm okay with it there. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. That's fine.
All right. Next is Ménage Troi. Oh boy.
Well, this is the Lwaxana episode of the season. This is the one where Ferengis kidnap Lwaxana and Deanna.
Naked.
Yeah, they remove their clothes. Umox is described for the first time.
Oh, Riker is kidnapped too, by the way. So it's all three of them.
I forgot about Riker.
Hence the Ménage a Troi.
Okay. I forgot what Riker did in the episode.
He kind of maneuvered his way out. You know, like he tricked the
he just wriggled around and
psychologically, you know, he kind of like tricked the Ferengi into blah blah blah, and
man, I kind of forgot. I forgot
the Ferengi into blah blah blah. The thing that frustrated me the most, which a weird amount of fans defended, but I just don't agree, is that like Lwaxana has no arc. She just remains annoying in the same way the whole episode, which is at the beginning, she keeps calling Deanna Little One, and Deanna goes, Little One, I'm not a child anymore. Stop doing that. And at the end, she still calls her Little One, but not in like a way that is changed in endearment or in like a bigger like sign of respect. She just remains kind of a jerk in that regard.
Right. And there's a contingent of commenters who say like, well, that's just how like old overbearing mothers are.
And I don't want to watch that.
Exactly. I mean, I don't want to watch Lwaxana anyway, like even when she does learn a lesson.
Exactly. The best Lwaxana episodes are still middling. So the bad Lwaxana episodes are really low, in my opinion.
This episode does have the fun bit from Patrick Stewart where he is like kind of forced or made to fight for Lwaxana's love on a video call.
It's the where the what the like, fuck is this shit screen grab comes from, where he's
it's a meme screen cap, definitely, but it's like, 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, and
exactly
blah, blah, blah.
So but even then, even though that's like a kind of a big meme, it's definitely a skip.
I'm willing to skip a Lwaxana episode easily.
I think I want to. I'm not as annoyed by it as Tin Man though. Tin Man's really annoying. Like
I would be. It can remain in a skip. Like first mention of Umox ever. That's
fine. You can get Umox mentioned elsewhere. It's fine. You can
just check Wikipedia for when that happened.
But yeah. Oh boy, we're going through a bunch of sucky ones. Next is Transfigurations, which is escaped guy turns out to be alien Jesus.
Oh right, the glowing Jesus man who's becoming too advanced.
Jesus morph suit.
I just like in my head, my brain automatically replaces this with Tabula Rasa from Justice League.
Which one was that, by the way?
That was the episode with Amazo the robot, which just learned all their powers and evolved way too fast and became all powerful and left the Earth.
But Amazo is much cooler.
Yes, he is. Which is why my brain did this. My brain is like, that's way better. Just think of that episode.
Remember when Amazo comes back in Justice League Unlimited? It's a fucking sick episode.
Where he like has this crazy philosophical discussion with Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor like talks him out of destroying everybody and also puts a planet back.
I feel like these are not comparable things at all. Amazo's way better. This is just some chode who like that Deanna that Beverly falls in love with.
Deanna wait, was it Deanna or Beverly?
It was Beverly. Beverly falls in love with him. Yeah.
And also this was an episode where Jesus guy like just charges Geordi up with like good luck juice or something.
Oh yeah, he gives him a ton of confidence, and then he starts making out with,
and he's able to he seems to be doing well with the lady in a turbo lift at some point.
Oh, that lady is the same lady who rejected him at the beginning of Booby Trap. We forgot to mention that. But Booby Trap begins with the awful date.
Oh yeah, the holodeck date with the pirate violinist.
Yeah, the one that keeps like harassing them.
Yeah, he's way all up. He's way too close to them.
He's way too close.
I said it before. He's way too close.
Yeah,
I would not want a man that close to me. I'm trying to have a conversation,
especially when he's playing a violin.
Yeah, it's like keep a steady distance. We're enjoying it. We
at least 10 feet away, please. And then
we hear you. We heard it.
But that's the same girl that he eventually hooks up with in the elevator. So the turbo lift. Okay. So there's continuity again. Oh my god!
All's well that ends well.
Yeah, Beverly gets horny.
He probably got some good practice in the holodeck first.
Geordi gets horny. Worf dies and then is resurrected by Jesus.
Yeah.
Because Worf falls off of the ledge.
Send him to that proto-Vulcan planet. He can do anything.
See, there is a god.
He should be called, it's me, the Picard.
This episode wasn't great. It's also a skip.
Yeah, it's kind of easy for me to consider that one a skip. And when we have like Blu-ray quality, it's way too easy to see his bulge.
Yes, he has a camel toe somehow.
It's way too easy to see like every fold and wrinkle in his crotch.
That means his ball sack is big folded in half by the fucking thing.
It's being bifurcated.
Yeah, that must have been so uncomfortable. His testicles were being like spread apart. The scrotum is
flexible. If it's heated well, it will be nice and loose. And full right up in there.
They made sure to make sure his ball sack was nice and warm before they put it in the morphs.
They have to use a heat gun first to loosen it. And then they have to tuck.
There's a BTS of like, well, in order to get him in the suit, we had to put
use a heat gun on his scrotum.
It's like a blow dryer, set it to the hottest setting, and just toasted his balls so he would fit. It was not an option to give him more room. We already made the morph suit. Maybe the most interesting piece of trivia is that the glow effect is actually in camera. Like it was
like a special paint that like reacted a certain way.
Yeah, it reacts to film exposure a certain way that makes it look like it's glowing, which is a really interesting chemical reaction. But that's the best part of the episode.
It's kind of hard to tell exactly what they mean by that, though, just by looking at the footage. So I would like a better demonstration to understand what they mean.
So basically, it's used in other like sci-fi things too, from like the 50s. Basically, what it does is it makes it look like only they are blurry. So that halo-ish effect is because of that in-camera effect with the chemical. I think they like also then in post made him brighter. So I think that's what's going on. So yeah,
okay then.
Yeah, I think that's.
There's only one episode left.
Well, wait, we have to put Transfiguration somewhere. Where are we putting it?
Oh wait, shit. Skip.
But where? I feel like. It's not as. I think Evolution's. No, Evolution's really annoying. I don't like Evolution.
Wesley annoys me a lot in Evolution.
Yeah, it's not as. High Ground is better, I guess, than the two terrorist episodes are right next to each other. I just realized.
I mean, they're all kind of blend together. They blur together.
Kind of, yeah. The Hunted, the Vengeance Factor, the High Ground, they all kind of blend.
It really
together.
doesn't help that they were all in season 3 within like the teens stretch.
Yeah, so. they all are the title.
Yeah.
And of course, the season finale, the episode that began the trend of crazy season cliffhangers combined with like crazy but kind of unsatisfying season premieres that have to quickly resolve the cliffhanger they didn't write an ending for.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
it's a bit like sobering in retrospect to like fully understand how that's pretty much how it ended up playing out for them.
Yeah,
for the show anyway.
Yeah, best of both worlds. I don't even know if this even needs to be like introduced or talked about. The Borg takeover. Oh, they take Picard.
Part 2 is where it's at, man.
This is a controversial opinion, maybe. I don't think this is peak Star Trek. I've never thought Best of Both Worlds was peak Star Trek, personally.
I remember it being so hyped up for me before I ever got around to it, which is unfortunate because I am like, there's hipster blood in me, and I do react poorly to being told to enjoy something before I ever get around to it.
You're half hipster, half Korean. That's your genetic makeup.
Yeah, like if Bob Dylan dies, part of me's fucked.
Half of you disappears.
According to Ricardo.
Yeah, I don't think it's obviously at least necessary because it's so important to canon. Like, and it's such a big part of the fandom and about the Picard character and the Borg in general. But I think entirely,
I'm willing to call it peak Star Trek, just simply overrated. It's just overrated peak.
I don't even know if it is, because I think what made it so significant for so many people is because of the cliffhanger ending. and people freaked out because they couldn't get a resolution until like 3 months later. Like
that is a fair thing to consider, because any fan who was watching it back then would have been very much affected in that way. I feel like I agree with you there.
Because I think if you just watch the episode now, I think it's fine. I think it's like a big deal that Picard is captured then turned into Locutus. Like that's really shocking.
Yes.
But I don't know if that alone makes it peak Star Trek. You know what I mean? Like, and we cannot evaluate this as both parts. It has to be just this part. Only this part was in the season. So if we're evaluating it that way, basically it's like a pretty normal.
Well, many of these two-parters feel better when you've only seen one part, though.
Yeah, the first part is almost always better than the second part every time.
Yeah, so it's like if you have only seen this season finale and not seen the conclusion of it, I feel like your opinion of it could be higher.
Let me think. So I'm trying to think of the things that really stuck out to me as interesting. I think it was maybe the first time the Enterprise felt like they were really going to be fighting an enemy they cannot beat. Like it felt like there was a sense of danger. Guinan constantly telling them you cannot win this. Yeah, you cannot win this. Like you need to find a way to run away. And there's a lot of scenes.
Major, huge things are happening. You've lost Picard.
Yes. There is a foreshadowing, which would have been very exciting when you were watching it as a fan, that Shelby is going to take over as first officer, because the sort of kicker. Oh, here's also what made it exciting. People didn't
Jellicoe.
know. Yeah, no, this was in Jellicoe. Yeah, Jellicoe was in Chain of Command, so that's completely different.
Oh,
Shelby,
shit, my bad.
Shelby is the lady, the shorter blonde lady who might become first officer because she was vying for Riker's position. She said, I want to be first officer of the Enterprise. And that was supposed to be a potential setup foreshadowing, because they didn't know if Patrick Stewart would renew his contract. And if he didn't, they were going to make Riker the captain and likely promote Shelby to first officer. That was what they were setting up, because it could have been that next episode, Locutus is destroyed, and we get the alternate parallels timeline where Riker is in charge.
We've gone over that before, but do you factor that into your placement of this episode in the tier list?
I think the character of Shelby is an interesting addition. I think the sense of dread as they're approaching the battle is interesting. I'm trying to find the positives that would potentially push it higher. I mean, there aren't a ton of negatives, that's for sure. But I still struggle to think it's truly peak Star Trek.
I think what ends up really hurting this episode, especially for you, is the fact that there's squandered potential here. Or I recall how many times you've gone over how you really wish that that Riker could have just been remain fucking captain for a little bit.
Oh, well, that would be a episode 2, part 2 problem for me. So I don't know if I can factor that into this. I'm trying to, if I'm focusing on just part 1.
And right now it's a little hard for me to really tease them apart in my mind.
So basically the part 1 ends when they have reconfigured.
Riker calls to fire upon Locutus's vessel.
Yeah, and then at that point you are sure Picard is dead, which is why when you watch the full Best of Both Worlds movie that they made as a Blu-ray together, it's kind of underwhelming because the music ramps up, bum bum bada bum bum, fire, and it cuts to it not working. And the Locutus goes, "Do you think I wouldn't have accounted for that, idiot?" Because they basically had to write that out.
I didn't know that. Wait, that's a change?
No, that's how the next episode starts. It starts with it not working at all.
Forgot. Yeah, I actually forgot. That is why it doesn't work.
Yeah, it starts out with it being a complete failure, and then Locutus going, "Did you really think I wouldn't have accounted for that? We would not have accounted for that."
Man, I can't believe that I forgot that, because that's only as good as a commercial break fake out.
No, that's what it's basically is when you put them both together.
Yeah, that's all that is in the end. And oh man, that sucks. Oh well.
I mean, I think this is potentially the most necessary viewing. It's best of both worlds. It's
if it's gonna be a necessary viewing, it has to be the top of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's the best episode of Star Trek, but it is maybe the most famous episode of TNG.
Sure,
to the point where they made that the standalone movie, right? So
right.
when they made a Blu-ray,
impactful thing, and like the fact like that cliffhanger was a cultural phenomenon of its time.
It's what kind of turned TNG from like, oh, Star Trek is back to, oh my God, it's mainstream. Everyone's watching TNG now. Like,
that was the move that I think really propelled it into, well, now actors from this show are gonna appear in any old place on Saturday Night Live, and we're making toys, and like they actually started merchandising out of this.
Yeah, way more. It got a lot more like, and then Star Trek finally got its consistent big bad, which is Borg. Like,
right.
To this day, the Borg are like,
the Romulans weren't doing too bad in this season, like,
but they were like way more like mixed in terms of like,
right. And I guess the writers didn't want to keep messing around with the Cold War allegory or metaphor, I guess.
Yeah, and it's also that like dealing with the Romulans is a lot more gray. You know, there's like shades of gray. There's a lot of different, a lot of like different like nuanced ways you deal with the politics of the Romulans. Whereas the Borg is just like, no, they are just pure robo zombies. They are unstoppable at this point. You know what I mean? Like they're an existential threat to Starfleet. You know,
right? And they don't give a shit about any of your goals or desires or needs. Like, there's no negotiating with these.
Yeah, once they get you, you're fucked. Like, and it was at the time believed that because Picard was assimilated, he's just fucked. Like, this is bad. Like,
right.
There may be no coming back from this.
Like, so Ricardo was the first to bring it up, I think, on our podcast. But like remembering that Terminators were like in vogue at the time does make sense.
Right. Yeah. Although, I mean, they did premiere in season 2, so but the Borg first showed up there. So,
but Terminator the first would have been around by then already. No?
When did Terminator 1 come out? Oh, 1984. Oh, so it came out a while before that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. That's Yeah, I think that's a good tier list. I think that makes sense.
Wow, that's actually pretty interesting that there was so much time between the first Terminator and the second. There's not usually that much time in between an original and a sequel for like
back then. There used to be. Back then, people weren't so quick to like franchise. You know, it was more of like, that was a good movie. We should like think about making a sequel.
Well, you think about like the distance between RoboCop and RoboCop 2.
Okay, that's true.
Or like Back to the Future 2 and 3, or you know,
yeah. Like, did he do any movie
sequels were quickly made? You know, like Gremlins 1 and Gremlins 2.
Did James Cameron make a movie between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2?
The Abyss.
Okay, that's why. That must be why, because James Cameron didn't want to do it. So. Yeah. That's why. Until
it was just like kind of like surprising me. Like, wait a minute, there was a lot of time. Like, if it was 84 and then T2 had to come in like 91 or 92.
Yeah.
So
that's our tier list. I guess it is a lot more positive than previous tier lists.
Is it? What does our previous tier list look like? Like in terms of our spread?
Let me take a quick look. I'm going to look at our tier list season 1.
Like, how many per season are we entering into the peak Star Trek tier?
Well, how
many entries are there by now?
So
we've put at least one each season, right?
Oh, for each tier?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just wondering how many peak Star Trek episodes we've named across.
Oh, yeah, we can. Yeah, let's try breaking that down.
Like, ostensibly, these should all be able to like be consolidated into a massive 4-tier episode list, right?
Yeah. So actually, the distribution actually looks fairly similar. So season 1, we had 2 peak Star Treks. It was 11001001, and it was The Big Goodbye. So those are our 2 peak Star Treks there, which is funny because in retrospect they don't really compare to yesterday's Enterprise that well.
Well, I remember like having that thought while we were like evaluating that first season. It's like, well, if we are just confining our evaluations to this season, we may need to adjust where these lie in the future.
Yeah, but I think we ended up in a fine place anyway, based on that current context. But there's twice as many necessary viewings in this season 3 as there were watch if it comes on than it was in season 1. Season 1 was a much more even spread throughout otherwise. And if you look at season 2, which is an interesting season because it's full of like one of the best episodes and then literally like the worst episode, that is Okay, so we only had one peak Star Trek for that season, which is Measure of a Man, and everything else was an even split. We had like 7 necessary viewings, 7 watch if it comes on, and 7 skips.
Okay.
So I feel like this is the first time where we're getting way more positives than negatives. So
all right. Well, I guess the big difference here is that we have way more necessary viewings this time.
yeah. Because these, I guess it's true. These are starting to get pretty good. You know, there's obviously some stinkers, but
season 3 is. I remember like in earlier years, a long time ago, I used to be told that there are 2 major indicators of Star Trek quality. One is Riker's beard. If Riker has a beard, then you know you're in for a good time. The other is whether or not their uniforms have collars.
Yes.
And season 3 is when the uniforms began having collars.
Yeah, because overall they're no longer wearing onesies.
Yes.
They're actually wearing a split.
However, season 2 is when you got Riker's beard. So, depending on which of those factors you are using.
Well, that's why Measure of a Man was there. Yeah.
Right. So if you go by Riker's beard, then you include Measure of a Man before good Trek begins. But
so yeah, I like this. This is a good. Yeah. I wonder if it'll keep getting better as we follow this track till season 4 and 5.
I'm
and then
fully
6
expecting a lot of our evaluations to kind of make less sense or fall apart if we start combining seasons.
Oh, it'll be fucked up. I mean, it was already fucked up with season 1, where like we put The Big Goodbye and 11001001 as good as Yesterday's Enterprise and Measure of a Man. So yeah. I wouldn't say that. I guess it's just more in the context.
Like I said, we would need to adjust if we.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our tier list for season 3 of TNG. Yay! If you guys liked it,
go watch Yesterday's Enterprise and The Defector.
Yeah, they're both really good. You know, give us a like or a rating or a review wherever you are: Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, etc. Also, join our Patreon or our YouTube membership. Head on over to patreon.com/newbie Star Trek. It gets you early access to new episodes. They don't have those dynamic ads come like burned in. Get access to our Discord. You get your name in the ticker like you're seeing if you're in the YouTube version right now. Eventually, when we start streaming, it'll be exclusive to our patrons and YouTube members. So yeah, patreon.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you guys ever want to send us an email, you can always email us at contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com. Next week, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled episode, which is when we go back to DS9, I think, because this is when we're starting to do the DS9 for some reason is back to back instead of alternating between DS9 and TNG. So yeah.
I don't know where we are.
Yeah, I forgot too. I just know that for some reason it was DS9 again. So, because
we're going back. I don't remember DS9 repeating on its own too many times before getting back to the stagger. So
yeah, maybe it's just normalizing. So there you go.
Yeah, so. There's Star Trek's happening somewhere. Stay tuned.
Stars are being trekked elsewhere.
Yeah, we'll trek the heck out of these stars.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening / watching, everybody, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.